All right, we are live. Welcome back to another Friday night. I don't know. We can't really call it the War Room, right? It's not the War Room. We're gonna have to figure out a new name, guys. You guys can maybe help us, but you guys know what we're
gays
doing.
in a Jew? No? Okay, whatever.
And we're demonetized. Thanks, Aaron, for that. You
It's
can please
true.
wait until more than 15 seconds into the start of a video to drop some words like that. Anyway, now that we're all demonetized, thanks to Aaron, how's everybody doing? Let's round the panel. We'll get used to, all the guests will get used to, or all the viewers get used to who we are here. But for the first couple shows, let's do a quick round table of who we are. All right, for your guys' audience, I'm Nate, Valhalla VFT, and you guys, Ben and Aaron, go ahead and give some introductions.
Hey, everybody. I'm Ben Pappas, retired Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel. I served in the infantry, Force Recon, commanded a Marine Raider Battalion, and currently an executive coach and strategist. I've got a YouTube channel, not nearly as big as Nate's or Aaron's, but we're trying to get it there, so please subscribe. But check me out, just Ben Pappas, and that's my channel.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Aaron, I was a PJ. I was in for a long time, got out in 24. I currently am a human performance optimization specialist, helping with cognitive training and actually preparing warfighters to go downrange and do it. I work down here in Nellis with a lot of the fighter community, and I just love being on this show. You guys are awesome. I'll tell everybody out there, anything you assumed about me is wrong. I'm an America-only guy. I'm typically a conservative, so you're going to be wrong in the chat tonight. Thanks for doing no research. You're all idiots. Be better.
Did I not? Where did I post the link to this, guys? Did I screw Jake over?
No, it was in the chat. Yeah.
Can you guys?
I'll send it to him.
Hold on. Can you guys send it to him real quick?
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but now I'm not seeing it. Okay. And then, Aaron, you want to send your intro? Did you intro? Sorry, I was fucking.
I did. No, it's cool. It was slick. Too.
Sorry, guys. we're trying to get our fourth member in here with the links. So, okay, cool. So, guys, we have a really cool show planned tonight. We're going to talk about some of the most viral topics going on right now. The first, how can we not? The invasion of Spain. I mean, it is what it is, but there's also a ton of context to this story. The mainstream media is not telling you, and we're going to deep dive all that. We're going to talk about our good friend Uncle Bibi, friend of the show, threatening the United States with Israeli special forces. We're going to talk about old Fauci, and then talk about at the end Lone Survivor. Yes, Lone Survivor has made its way back into the Vet Bro news. So super pumped to kick this off. Can we get some where are you guys all at from the chat while we let everybody filter in and flow in for the show tonight? And hopefully we can get Jake in here in the next couple minutes before.
Yeah, I just sent it to him
before we kick this thing off too far. We don't want him to be too far behind. Spokane, Seattle.
Hey, what's
Oregon
up?
City.
Spokane is sweet, dude. Spokane is one of those hidden gems where it's like I lived in Tacoma for so long that you go over to Spokane, it is fire over there. Great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Great
I love Spokane.
there.
Yeah, that's no doubt.
All right. We should have North Carolina. Oh, yeah, my favorite place ever. Fayetteville, best place I ever lived for 2.5 years. Great place. We'll hit a couple super chats early, guys. Thank you. This is not what we fought for, brother. Well, we're going to talk about that tonight. Thank you. Could you please clarify what you meant when you said that your unit took part in a coup in Ukraine in 2014? What were they doing? Thanks. 10th Special Forces Group in the CIA and MI6. Not my personal unit. I was in 1st Special Forces Group. But yes, that's to be honest, guys, that's an entire can of worms, probably for a different episode to deep dive the coup in Ukraine in 2014. But yeah, CIA, MI6.
Look up the Maidan Revolution. You can find pictures just before that thing kicked off with American service members and John McCain in Ukraine doing the whole thing. It all lives out there. The Maidan Revolution was incepted by the CIA to emplace somebody that was an actor that was more beneficial to the United States of America that we could launder money through. There you go.
Yeah, not a conspiracy. I mean, that's just basic history at this point. Awesome panel. Thank you guys for your service. God bless you. Thank you. All right, Jake. Jake will get in here when he gets in here. Okay.
He'll get in.
Did we give him the link? All right.
I did. I sent it to him.
Tell him to work through you guys because I'm trying to run the show and everything like that. All right. But anyway, guys, first thing we have to talk about the invasion of Spain, right? Let's why don't we take a look at some of the the videos I have of this, which I'm sure many of you guys have already seen this, but yeah, it's absolutely wild what we're watching.
Yeah. Look at all those military age males just looking for a better life.
Technically, Aaron, I did watch this. I did see 2 females.
Okay. Good.
Okay. I think we'll find
Oh,
maybe
nope, that
they're
was a
dudes
dude.
with long hair. Yeah, okay. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I thought I
Nope.
saw a couple.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no kids.
Oh,
It's-
there was.
it
Oh
is
no, that
interesting.
was a
That's
guy
pretty
with long
crazy.
hair. Okay, maybe it was. Wait.
Oh,
Oh,
there's
there we
one.
go. See, there's two little girls. See, told you.
Awesome.
So anyway, out of the thousands rushing in. Now you can also see what's interesting is just government officials just flowing them in, right? That's going to be something we need to talk about as well. Here's another one. Let's just go over some clips together so everybody who maybe has not seen what's going on gets a good idea of this. So here's some more. Interesting enough, a lot of these are Moroccan government trucks. The Moroccan government is assisting in this. That'll be important later.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And see, look right here. That's a Moroccan military official right here assisting in this. So that's a big important part of the show. All right. And let's see. Okay, we got more, but we'll watch more later. I mean, this is obviously what we've seen everywhere you find it on the news media. That's what you're going to see. All right. So what's our initial feelings when we very first saw that, without getting into the context of maybe like the deeper things that we're going to get into? Obviously, there's Jake. There he is. Jake's way again. Jake, give a quick introduction to who you are to the audience. We just jumped into talking about what's going on in Spain.
Hey guys, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm 54 years old and I still haven't figured out what a computer and a phone does. And my phone died. And so then I was out a phone. And so now I'm late and I have a channel. I spent all day jumping out of planes. It really tired me out, but I was safe. Other than that, like, we rock on, man. Let's talk about this insanity, because I'm starting to figure out how these guys swam with a bike on their back. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks on this that we're going to get to. So we just showed Jake the clips. I don't know, you probably saw, but the clips of everybody rushing in. So yeah, let's just quick thoughts of what you guys thought when you first saw this. I mean, if you didn't understand the broader context of what's really going on.
So, I mean, from my perspective, I saw it happened about 10 years ago, I think. Aaron probably knows exactly, but they did the same thing a couple years ago. Let's say 10, 15 years ago. I didn't know that Spain had like land in Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would have thought, that's kind of like Israel in the Middle East, right? Like, yeah, okay. But I just thought it was stupid, right? Like, okay, guys, like when I saw the guys with bicycles and they kept saying they swam around, I was just like, none of this makes any sense. To me, it sounded like a political something going on, but whatever.
It's certainly that.
Turn your audio up. So this happened in 2021. They had a bunch of people that came in. They had like 40,000 refugees. Basically, this whole thing started because of a Supreme Court decision in Spain that affected the northern Spanish territory that is actually in Africa, surrounded essentially on all sides by Morocco. The Supreme Court had a ruling that basically said that they are not, they had this thing called hot turnarounds, right? So if you actually like scaled a physical barrier, they said, hey, hot turnaround, you're going straight back. Well, that changed. If you zoom in there, they basically changed the ruling about what a physical barrier was, and the sea did not have a physical barrier. So the Supreme Court in Spain ruled that no more hot turnarounds would happen if there wasn't a physical barrier. Word obviously got out through Moroccan channels and some other channels that we're going to talk about. The leaders of Spain actually came out and were like, listen, this is what the Supreme Court decision did, is it's technically not illegal. The Spanish government, who rules over the Spanish territory in the north of Africa here, surrounded by Morocco, now doesn't have the authority to turn people away if they don't cross a physical barrier, which is why people are swimming in. It's up to 60K. They've had 60 deaths so far in this migration, but it's directly related to the, earlier in July, Supreme Court ruling from Spain stopping the hot turnaround, you can't cross the border thing. They were like, well, the water's not a border and there's no physical barriers, so technically we're good here. And that's what led to it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think for me, the first thing I thought about was these TikTok teen takeovers, as I saw, honestly, because I saw over, 4th of July out here in California, we had a couple of them that were just nuts. I mean, how fast they happen, authorities can't do it, and then they leave. So if you look at a lot of the accounts right now, 48,000 of the 50,000 that were there, apparently, whatever the numbers were, have left. And so you know, I don't know how much violence was done or anything like that. I'm kind of catching up on some of this stuff now. And apparently it happened before, like Jake was saying, like Aaron said, in 2021, 8 or 10,000 people crossed through. But I think that reminds me of a teen takeover, like just because we can, social media masses them. And here's the issue. I started thinking, then, you know me, I'm starting to think, what do we do? How do we prevent this? How can we stop this from happening here? The issue with like them being able to have a sanctuary, like an insurgency, counterinsurgency, when you have a sanctuary country, you know, you have a place you can't touch them. You can't do the head them off at the pass, you know, grab all the leaders unless you have intel sharing, law enforcement agreement. And right now, as you guys all pointed out, Spain has pissed off a lot of people. I know, Nate, you're going to go deeper in this, who the big daddy rabbit is, but definitely pissed off Morocco. And so Morocco, my understanding, I don't know this much about it, but in some of my research, I saw that they're backing the Polisario Front in the Western Sahara dispute. If you guys have, you know, heard of that or seen that, that's like one of the things. Apparently Spain's like, yeah, watch this. Okay, you want to see what we can do real fast? We can weaponize migration and teach you a lesson real quick. But that's just my quick take.
Yeah. So let's give some background to, is that me? What I hear feedback on myself.
You sound great to me.
How am I now?
You guys don't hear any feedback?
No, sir.
Chat? Okay, it's good. It might just be me. All right, so some important context to this. Again, before we jump into this, what you're going to see basically on mainstream media is two different things here. From the MAGA, we've all seen it, right? The massive Islamic terrorist takeover of the West, ooh, right? But then the left also is, no, these are all just innocent people seeking a better life, and that's what they're doing. It's not really either of those things, okay? Now, if you got to understand the broader context of Ceuta here, and like we talked about just a second ago, this is in the northern part of Africa in Morocco. It's actually a disputed territory, and this goes back 600 years that Spain and Morocco have basically, and Portugal and some other countries have been fighting back and forth over this. All right, so initially it was Moroccan territory until 1415, and then Portugal takes over, and then somewhere I believe in the 1600s, Spain conquests and takes and seizes it. And then I believe about in the 1950s, when Morocco declares their independence from Spain, they declare that they own Ceuta. Okay, so both Spain and Morocco say that they own this territory. So
okay,
what MAGA is telling you is Spain and Europe are being invaded, and it's like, okay, there is a problem going on with that, but that's not what this specific issue right now here is in Spain. This is in Africa, not Europe. Okay, that's very important to understand up front. Next is understanding what we're going to get into the broader context of, turns out our greatest ally in Spain hate each other. If you haven't watched the back and forth between those two countries, and the location, and I'll pull it up here, is going to become extremely, extremely important. It's always a broader thing that goes on. When we look at this, and this is exiting the Mediterranean Sea, and I'll pull this up in a second. You've got Ceuta here, which is, again, kind of like, what does this look like? The Strait of Hormuz or the Strait of Mendab, right? It's the only way to get tankers out of the Mediterranean. And then I'll pull this up, and this is going to be important, broader context later. Now, we'll get into this. Oh, whoops, my bad, guys. Where did I go? We'll get into this. If you look at this, this is the Mediterranean Sea, straight line from our greatest ally to Morocco. But where do you have to travel through? You have to travel through this tiny little pass in a disputed area that our greatest ally, who hates Spain, would much more prefer that who owns Ceuta? Morocco. They're Sunni Islamic, well, we don't want to call them allies. And then when we talk about the idea of, I don't want to get in, this will be later, right? We're getting a little too deep. But anyway, so you guys the audience can understand, this is not as simple as like, there's some type of refugee crisis in Morocco and they're all flooding Europe. That's actually not what is happening in this situation really at all at the moment. Okay. So,
yeah, but you know, I was going to say, Nate, it's really wild when you bring that up, the power of geography. This is what geopolitics is, right? When you look at the straits, like the Strait of Hormuz, Straits of Gibraltar, you know, the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, all these things like that. I'm proud of myself. Last time I was on here, I couldn't say that word. You had to help me out. But but you realize the power and how important it is controlling these strategic lines of communication, you know. So just want to bring that up real quick.
Yeah. So And here's another video I think is important for us to look at. And when I was talking about this, when you're talking about governments working together, and I think maybe it was Aaron that mentioned this or maybe it was Ben, this is government level weaponized immigration. I think maybe Ben that you said that's exactly what we're looking at. And we know that because when I pulled this up, I found this clip earlier, which is, oh, that's just me. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Let's move us to the side. This is Moroccan government trucks bringing in.
That's nuts.
You can see these are brand new Moroccan government trucks hauling in Moroccans to basically go and, So what do you guys think the overall goal is here by Morocco? Like, we know this area has been disputed over for 600 years. Is this potentially trying to force through a land grab? What do you think the overall goal here is? Because again, it's not as simple as like it's not this one's not a refugee crisis. Like Jake said, like they're walking in, swimming in with bicycles, getting busted. They're getting bussed in by the Moroccan government with assistance from the Moroccan military.
Do you guys mind if I jump in on a quick idea on it real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
1 minute. Just as you're saying that, it just occurred to me. I thought this is almost like what Russia did with Ukraine. They do a feint, another demonstration. They get close to the border, maybe an incursion. Next thing you know, it's a full onslaught. And so, as Jake was saying earlier too, maybe it's something to desensitize everyone and just to wear down the legitimacy, because legitimacy is everything. If Spain, as you're saying, Nate, too, still claims this place, Ceuta, which I'm glad for all the Marines out there, it's not Cuerta, it's Ceuta. We learned this tonight from our Special Forces brother. So you're getting smarter.
Right. You say it how it's spelled. That's how I usually do it.
And so, but I mean, I think, that might be it too, is like, hey, we're going to weaken your legitimacy, weaken your governance, weaken your ability to handle the problem and show like, look, we can't control them. Nothing we can do. Maybe you want to 50-50 this because we could help you with this problem, but we didn't create it. So it might be one of those things where eventually down the line, as you said, they may be trying to get control by using the TikTok takeover as a tactic. We can't control them. I don't know how to stop it. And you want to become China? We could do it if we become China, authoritarian, but that's not our way. So that's just quick thought.
I think chat's talking about it too. I think I'm causing some feedback here. Let me back in. You guys keep talking. I'll back out and come right back.
Cool.
What do you guys think?
The other thing here, I mean, it's like, if you want to look at it strictly tactically, like if I was trying to grab land from somebody that did not, I mean, this is not on Spain's borders. This is across the water. Spain has maintained control of it. It's disputed land. Well, what would I do? Sometimes you got to destroy it. Give them the Hegelian dialectic. We caused this problem, and now we're going to give you the solution. Easy solution, Spain. You just go ahead and give us this land back. Everybody can go back home to mainland Spain, and we'll go ahead and we'll take control of this thing. It's really our problem that we created, and poof, here's the solution. And it's really the other kind of thing at play here is just a simple war.
Jake, it's you, buddy. Your mic's causing cyclical feedback off everybody. When I mute you, it stops.
Oh, nuts. See you, Jake.
All right.
He'll come back in. But the other thing at play, the other thing at play here is a war of attrition. You want to put pressure on the territory of Spain. This still comes out of Spain's budget. Everything that they're going to have to do here, Spanish Coast Guard, every resource that they're going to have to put toward these immigrants, whether you like it or not, they're going to have to be supported by the Spanish government. So if you make it as bad as it possibly can be, and Morocco makes a case, hey, everything's bad, it should be ours anyway. That's point one. And then point two, you really cause some serious financial and bad, essentially, publicity for Spain by the whole world seeing this, everybody freaking out, hyperbolic viewpoints, and this is Spain's problem. So how long does it take Spain before they're finally just like, you know what? Screw it. We'll bring all the Spanish citizens back home. We're not spending any money on this. We're done. You guys can have the land grab.
And meanwhile, they have an election coming up, right? I think, Aaron, in research I've seen there's an election. And so the current president, I believe, there in Spain is supporting this Polisario group and also pushing back against Morocco, pushing back against other people, other big allies, big fish right now that are big international actors, maybe like Israel, not supporting the U.S.-Iran war, U.S.-Israel-Iran war, all that stuff.
That I think definitely ties in.
Definitely part of it, yeah. And I know you're going to hit that hard. So I think the opposition steps up like, look, I wouldn't cause these problems. I wouldn't sap our resources. We're going to have to spend so much more money. It's a cost-imposing strategy, as you're saying, Aaron. That makes a lot of sense.
That does make sense. I didn't even think about the fact that, yeah, you're right. Whether, regardless of what this is, Spain has to deal with it no matter what. Much in the way that we have to deal with, an immigration crisis, regardless of what you want to call it or where it comes from. Once it's here, it's here. That's interesting.
Well,
Now,
and in reaction to this, this isn't mainland Europe, and you brought up a great point, but guess what? Europe has already done. France has already reacted in actual legislation and posture and immigration. So have the other countries. Spain is already on the outs with us. The administration is super ticked off at Spain for not letting us use them as a pass through to go bomb Iran. Like, Spain is under pressure from a whole lot of other people. This is having really, really big geopolitical sort of waves that are being made, and Spain does not want this smoke. It's completely, if I was the president of Spain, so I guarantee one of his freaking advisors somewhere that is at least level-headed is going, hey, listen, I know how to delete this whole problem. We just give it up.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. I didn't even think about that. I mean, and again, it's been 600 years or further that and it's so crazy that we look at this like Ben talked about earlier, strategic land, right? That these tiny outlets, shipping outlets, the Strait of Hormuz, the Strait of Mendab, and then you have this area right through Ceuta in Spain that has been fought over for all of these have been fought over for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years to have control of those shipping lanes, because those shipping lanes control everything.
And why is it called Camp Lemonnier in Djibouti? Why is that a French name? Because the French started that. They have maintained a presence there for the exact same reason in the Horn of Africa that they're doing here. It's, for lack of a better term, it's European colonialism that are trying to control these shipping lanes. Spain did the same thing here that the French have done for hundreds of years in Djibouti at Camp Lemonnier.
You know what's kind of scary? I think about
still got it, Jake. Yep, still there.
Everybody says the audio is clean to everybody but you, Nate. That's the input from the chat. Can we get it from the chat? Jake, come on and talk. Tell me.
No, it was because I saw a bunch of people in chat talking about that there's low static coming through.
Low static?
And no, I think you're good. Go ahead, Aaron, talk.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good now. You're good, Jake.
All right,
fixed it. We nailed it.
I was going to say, it made me think of too, is that let's think about like the most dangerous course of action or outcome from something like this. If other people learn from this and use this massing tactic at a border and go across in a place where they won't be met with heavy resistance, now you could insert a criminal cell, you could insert a terror cell, you can insert a lot of people in the mass chaos and they can go to ground. Whereas if they're crossing individually, it might be easier to, leverage assets and to cover them, to watch them and to see where they go.
So Ben, it's so interesting that you say that, because when we can tie this back to Venezuela. And when we talk about the drug trafficking, a lot of people don't realize this. Venezuela basically brings no drugs to the United States. Their drugs all go to the northern Horn of Africa that are then smuggled into Europe through this exact area. That's where the vast majority of Venezuela's drugs are being, and a lot of Latin America, pretty much all of Europe's drugs, cocaine, fentanyl, all these things that are coming in from Latin America to the northern Horn of Africa and then coming over this tiny little area. And so this is another way that in that chaos, this becomes 1,000 times easier if you're a massive drug trafficker to facilitate that drug traffic, especially if Spain throws their hands up and goes, shit, we can't deal with all this. And the Moroccan military is not doing anything about it. Now you have a massive trafficking lane.
Nate, why would another country facilitate the open import of drugs into a society unless they meant to crush it, Nate? That doesn't make any sense. Nobody's ever.
It's interesting you say that, Aaron. So why don't we jump into the next part of the show that's extremely important for understanding this conflict, which of course somehow, and again, this isn't one of those things of it's always Israel's fault. No, I'm going to show you that legitimately this goes back to. Sorry, let me pull this up. All right, let me do this real quick. I forgot that I had to come back in, share my screen here. This is a X post from Uncle Bibi's son in 2019, ladies and gentlemen. So let me show you exactly what this X post is. This is an X post from Bibi's son in 2019. And look what he's saying here with a map of Morocco showing Ceuta. And it says, "Dear Arabs and Muslims, want a free occupied Arab Islamic lands? Here's a good start. And his entire post goes on to show how Morocco can use a humanitarian immigration crisis to take over Ceuta. Now,
That's
that
nuts.
seems pretty
I'm
crazy.
trying here, guys. I'm
Yeah.
trying here. I'm trying. Nate, how dare you notice, first of all, you noticing MFU. How dare you notice that this is a thing that happened 6 years ago?
I mean, he posted it on X with the map and the exact game plan that we're literally seeing right now. And what's so funny about this is that, yes, there's some other context to this too, which is, oh, I don't know. We just had Uncle Beanie say this on what, July 19th?
Yeah.
That he put out a big threat against Spain. Says Spain, if Spain's against us, we're against them. Not only that, let's do one more. This is kind of interesting, right, guys? This was yesterday, literally yesterday. The Israeli Foreign Ministry official X account posted a congratulations to Morocco, its leadership, and its people. We extend our warmest congratulations on the occasion of this glorious throne day. From sincerely, Israel. Now, that's literally the day that this happened and this started. Now, I mean, it doesn't even seem like they're, and we'll get into why here in a little bit here, guys. Like, the why is important, but they're not hiding it, right? I mean, they've been posturing this. They've been talking about this. They've been posting it on X, strategic plans for this for 7 years now. And so the idea that, you know, that this is a conspiracy, they're not, like I said, they're not hiding, right? This is right in our faces. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, honestly, it's surprising, not surprising. You know, I mean, it's I'm surprised you were able to find that. That was pretty surprising to me. I've never seen that before, but it's not surprising in that they're trying to distract them, saying, look, if, you know, you want to do this, why are you doing it here? Do it all these other places. How about these first? So just my quick take on it. Jake, what do you think, man?
You're dangerous water, brother. You're starting to notice. You're starting to actually take you're starting to actually take the facts as they're laid out in front of you. I'll tell you, the Smithsonian would say noticing facts and objective reality is inherently racist. You got a blind spot. Jake, I think we need your comment on this one.
Okay, so let me ask a question. Have any of you worked with the Spanish military?
I haven't. No, not me.
You have?
I don't know about you guys.
I have, yeah.
I would put them on the level of a group of freshman midshipmen at West Point and the Naval Academy. Like, I worked with them for a month, and I was like, these dudes ain't defending nothing. They ain't taking nothing, and they don't want to fight. Okay, like kind of like the French military, right? Like, they ain't doing the fighting, ain't in their world. Okay. And so we're talking about this, and then, you know, the whole Israel play and all of it, like, it's all just shenanigans and charades, right? Like, the fact that Israel is going to go mess with Spain, let them. Shit, go ahead. Fly something over there. Let's go. Right? Because what's going to happen? It's going to be, like, stupid. Like, Israel's getting destroyed right now. Okay? The drones are still flying in there every day. Like, all the stuff is still happening. And now they're going to go mess with Spain. Like, it's all shenanigans, man. I just think it's like shenanigans. I'll bring it right back to this. I want the price of gas to be $2 in America. I don't care what's going on in the rest of the world. I want a price of a house to be average about $250,000 with a 5% interest rate so your normal person can afford a house. I don't really care about 60,000 refugees and bicycles on their back coming across in Spain. I don't care about Morocco. I don't care about Spain. I really don't care about Israel. And you know I'm the resident Jew on the channel. So
it's true. He is. YouTube algorithm. We do have, you know, Jake is Jewish, so don't come for us.
Yes. But
Can I post something to you guys real quick? Because I just thought of something. Now, we know Israel is dying to get the United States to leave NATO. We know that because their next target is Turkey. Turkey is a NATO ally. Huge backstop, huge problem for them when they 10 years from now want to facilitate that war. They can't do it without the United States, and we can't attack a NATO ally. Do you guys think this potentially also, this Israel constantly attacking Spain, Italy, all of our NATO allies, not attacking physically, but, you know, online, on Twitter, saying things like this. Do you think this is a wedge potentially they're trying to further divide from the United States and its European NATO allies? Again, I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking of this as we're talking about it.
Man, it sounds like a good strategy. You know, if they're trying to do it, put more pressure. You know, they're trying to expose, exploit the fissures, the cracks in the armor for the NATO alliance. They see what's going on with Spain. They're trying to go after Turkey next, like you're saying, put pressure there. It would be, I mean, they're not dumb, that's for sure. If they see this weakness, exploit it to their advantage. And they're already, what they're using too is when they see, the Trump administration, they see President Trump already upset and saying things, and they're just like, yeah, for sure. Look at this. Hey, boss, check this one out. And then they inflame it some more. So you're not wrong about that. That's for sure.
Aaron or Jake, any thoughts on that?
I can only say it's working. If you want to, I mean, look at how much the infighting has happened in Europe and the EU, and it's going over to NATO. If you wanted to drive a wedge, like at this point, for a long time, I'm not a huge fan of NATO. I don't like Article 5 being able to drag us into a regional conflict just because we made a World War II agreement with a bunch of countries that don't bother to support themselves. To Jake's point, man, the only Europeans that I ever worked with that I was ever like truly impressed in their military that they go fight, man, the Norwegians are badass. And then you got like the Polish dudes. And
I was going to say the Poles. I worked with the Grom, and they're fucking
those
bad,
guys
dude.
Those dudes are hard as woodpecker lips. But everybody else, the French, the Spanish, the Germans, like those guys do not have the same constitutional makeup. And I'm talking about like inner constitution as the rest of us. So, but I look at this situation and I go, oh, wait a second. Man, I may not like NATO, but I got to look at another foreign power, a nuclear armed foreign power that's quite obviously driving a wedge in between those NATO allies. And it makes me go, hold on, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm not seeing something.
Jake, anything on that?
No, all right, I'm going to ask the big question because someone asked me this week and I had to really think about it. Has World War III already started?
Oh, I did my live stream too. I talked to Alex Jones about this exact thing today, Jake. I said, I think we're already there. I think we're in a moment. If you look back 5 years, like you go forward 5 years, look back to this moment, especially now with Ukraine attacking Iran, Saudi Arabia entering against Iran, Pakistan threatening Iran that they're going to get involved. You've got Cambodia, Thailand, Ukraine, Russia, America, Israel. Like we're there, I think. I just don't think people are like, I don't think you understand that you're in a world war while you're in it. I think.
Did you forget that Pakistan and India went into a hot shooting war for like 2 weeks? Did we just go past that? Like we are definitely, and it depends on how you define war. We're 100% in a 5th generation war. 100%. We've been in that for 5 years.
We've been in that for 10 years. I agree with that 100%, Aaron. 5th generation, like TikTok, all of that stuff. I agree with that 100%.
But it's kinetic everywhere now. Right.
Yeah. The thing is too, if you look at the land fighting too, Russia's lost over 1 million people. Like that is a no kidding World War II level war going on right there. And so as you piece it together, as you're saying, Nate, I've heard that before as well too, where there's some like, people out there, historians, strategists, whatever, saying that if we go forward 5 years and we're going to look and realize this was the start. This was the start.
I think so.
Yeah. Now, meanwhile, who's sitting back happy? Like, oh yeah. China. Yeah,
China, baby. China loves this shit.
This is our time. The China dream is about to be achieved. We don't have to do a damn thing. Go.
Focus on our economy. Focus on our technological advancements. Stay the fuck out of this.
That's right. That's right.
But also supply it and make a shit ton of money.
And notice how it's not state sponsored. It's like other companies. They're like, we didn't officially do anything. I'll talk to them. That company's sending stuff. We'll talk to them. Don't worry. We didn't do that. So they don't want to. As was said to me on Wednesday, I had Admiral Mike Studeman on, and he was like, "You don't want to pull the lion's beard while he's wounded." And China sees the lion the U.S. is fighting. Make no mistake, they don't want to get into a direct engagement with us. They're like, "Yeah, just go, just slide on down the hill. You're heading down the hill. Keep sliding. If you keep doing this." So,
yeah. Again, it's when I saw Ukraine bombing Iranian ships, was in the Caspian Sea, I believe.
Yeah.
Immediate for me, that was like, oh, we're here, right? Because what's happened now, we have Ukraine and Russia in this massive first world peer-to-peer war. You've got, the United States, Israel, Iran. These are sort of separated, but still right here. But now all of a sudden that cross-pollinates. Now you got Ukraine entering the war against Iran, who then kind of makes, Israel and America feel like, well, maybe we need to enter the war with Ukraine against Russia, right? And now all of a sudden, because Russia and Iran are allies, and now China's supplying everybody. And for me, it's just like you guys said. I think we're in it. I just don't think, like Ben, you talked about, like, we got a country that's already lost 1 million lives, and we're not in the discussion about a potential world war here after 1 million
That's like
first world lives.
The battle of Stalingrad. It's like the battle of Stalingrad right there.
Yeah.
And,
let me so to highlight how China has been playing this for a long time. There's something called Thucydides trap. It's a concept Chinese leaders, especially President Xi Jinping, have repeatedly referenced.
All about this. Yeah.
It's the rise of Athens and the fear that this inspired in Sparta that made war inevitable. Basically, and Xi Jinping has said this since like 2014. China believes that they're becoming ascendant, and the point of that little logical trap, Thucydides trap, is I hope we don't have to fight over the fact that we are now becoming ascendant. He has said this in the open for a million different times. If you think that they're not ecstatic about these things driving a wedge in NATO, while America completely expends all of its technological resources and things that we can't produce fast enough, like munitions, while doing all this other stuff, you are crazy.
And Aaron, we talked about this on Wednesday again, Navy Admiral, I asked him specifically about Thucydides trap, and like, because China, Xi Jinping said, like you said, like 2014, 2015, there is no Thucydides trap. They don't want a direct confrontation because they know they're ascendant. They know they're rising, the rising power, the hegemon, the main power of the world, the U.S. right now, is they believe in its, in its decline. It's not going to crash, but it's in its decline. They don't want to get knocked off their track by us because we're still more powerful militarily for sure, and economically at this point. But the point is that, this is something they don't want to get into, and they're trying to convince the U.S. No, there is no Thucydides trap. No, don't look over here. We're not the bad guys.
Yeah.
To the point, I learned this on Wednesday. People in my audience know this, but Mike Studeman was saying, he said that they got Graham Allison's book, the Thucydides trap book. They got him to write another book. So it's basically Americans telling Americans, don't get into direct confrontation with China. And here's why: making everybody happy. They funded his research, funded the book. Again, another level of warfare, so that they know we can just fly free and clear. Don't look over here. Keep doing your thing. Police the world. Do whatever you're doing. Make mistakes. We're going to keep getting stronger. But now the only problem is that they see this calculus of Taiwan has changed in their minds, I think, strategically, based on what they're seeing in Iran. Like, really? Nobody wanted to go there before because they were worried, all hell will be unleashed on us. Let's not even talk about a nuclear bomb. The Ayatollah was like, don't even talk about it. We have religious edicts against making the bomb. But now they're like, well, because all hell will be loosed. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. Now all hell is loosed. We're still here. China's like, well, I guess they could survive it. We could sure as hell survive it. Maybe you get a little froggy in Taiwan. So calculus is starting to change. You put your ear to the tracks and you start hearing these things. So,
yeah, for sure. I think China's still a long ways away from actually considering forcefully taking Taiwan right now, especially with both of the straits. Well, the Hormuz and Mendab potentially. We're not sure the Mendab Strait's completely shut yet. That being shut down is a big deal because for China, you go to war with Taiwan, the Strait of Taiwan. Oh, that's strait number 3, where all China's oil comes through. And if the United States decides, actually, you know what, we're going to shut that shit down. Now China has access to basically no oil because they can't get the oil out of the Middle East. They also can't get it from Russia now. They can't get it through the Strait of Malacca. I mean, everything is shut down for them. So I think they're a little bit stuck at the moment with not being like, I don't think they could go for Taiwan yet. But to your point, Ben, I mean, as the rest of the world goes into embroiled chaos, then people aren't paying attention, especially if the conflicts in Ukraine, Russia, the Middle East, Iran start to pull everybody in. Then they go, oh shit. I mean, nobody's going to look. And not only is nobody going to look over here, America doesn't have the power to stop us right now because they're fighting a 5-front war
and they might not even have to really do anything. They might not even have to really go big. It might just be like kind of these things where we could come over there. You could just join us. Like, what do you want us to do?
Ben, I think you just nailed it. Is that the big point here is they don't have to forcefully take it. They can just tell Taiwan, here's your choice.
Yep.
America can't help you. No one's coming to save you.
Right.
We can slaughter you and take it, or you guys can diplomatically, just like Hong Kong, join us. I've said for 5, 6, 7 years through everything we've study in first group that will be the route that they will reunify. I hope everybody understands that it's coming eventually. But Ben, I think you nailed exactly how it's going to reunify. Is they'll just be able to say, you got two options, Taiwan. In
Right.
America, your big brother ain't here, and he ain't coming to save you.
Right. That's it. Tag team partners out. Tag team partners down.
Right.
What are you going to do?
All right,
It's
real
always
quick.
the worst when Hawk or
go
Animal
ahead.
was like sitting on the side of the ring. He couldn't come in and help him out, like in this World Wrestling
That's it,
Federation
man.
sort of shit. Like,
Yeah.
That's it.
That's how a lot of matches end when they go for the tag and he's not there.
Yeah. The chair comes out of nowhere. You
Yeah.
know?
All right. Now, I do want to talk, because we're talking about oil lines and stuff like that, tie this back into why this is so important to the Greater Israel Project. Okay. So, what Israel, and part of the reason why Israel wants this war with Iran to go on forever, is they want the Strait of Hormuz and Strait of Mendab closed forever. Israel is begging for that because it allows the potential that Israel's shipping lanes through the Mediterranean become where all of this Middle Eastern oil has to now flow through out of Syria, Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Iraq. It's all potentially flow through the Mediterranean because it can't come out of the Strait of Hormuz and the Strait of Mendab. Now, all of a sudden, Israel, in their attempt to be the hegemonic superpower of the region, has complete control over all of the oil that then facilitates out of here. And then that brings us back into what we talked about here with Suerta, is they would prefer to have a Sunni Islamic, basically allied government in control of Suerta, because, at that point, if Spain's so pissed off at Israel that they go, you ain't fucking taking anything through our strait, that's a problem. But now, if Morocco has complete control of that, it makes it much, much easier. So what do you guys think about that as a long-term play for me? I think that's what the big play is here for Israel, and why Israel is, because again, a lot of people look at this and be like, why the fuck would Israel care about Morocco? Right. But when you look at that, it kind of goes, 10, 15 years from now, we could have a completely different landscape where that is where the entire world's oil supply is coming out of.
Yeah. I mean, I think they have some big fires to put out at their feet first, but 10-year plans start with steps today, and what relationships you're building and what groundwork you're laying, shaping operations, building infrastructure, which we all know very well, building the support systems, all the things you need well ahead of time before, let's say you say we were going to hit an economic and military level and a point of the alliance 10 years from now where we can start to, let's say, gain control or gain advantage. And then 20 years from now in the grand plan, we gain control, so it's not out of the realm of the possible, I think, for sure, especially as things are getting shaken up and there's chaos for them, maybe to be making moves that we didn't know about, but all of a sudden now start to crystallize and surface. And you say, oh man, where there's smoke, there's fire. So maybe, possibly.
I think, and Aaron is more versed on this than me, I think trying to cause a refugee crisis to destabilize Europe is definitely also a huge incentive there, right?
it's already happening. There's running grenade fights from Somali gangs in downtown Oslo, Norway. There's all of these things happening worldwide right now. You can see all of this happening on the beaches of France as we speak right now. It didn't just start with Charlie Hebdo in France and the Islamic attacks then. This has been a 20-year problem in Europe, and it's coming to fruition now. People think that this just happened overnight because you've been unaware of it. You can draw a straight line from all of Europe to many different legislative, judicial challenges that they faced for the entire time. When people just pop into something like Pollyanna and they're like, that doesn't make any sense, it just popped up out of nowhere. No, it didn't. To Ben's point, 10-year plans have to start 10 years ago. You're just starting to see the fallout.
So let me ask this question, Aaron. I think if the country's France is going to be majority Muslim in like the next 15 years.
Oh, it's like 30% already, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we're it's close to
It's
there.
getting up there.
So
Yeah.
I remember back in the early start of the GWAT, there was Europe was on fire about immigration, and they were letting the Iraqis and the Afghanis immigrate. They were giving them safe harbor, right? We had all the people dying on the boats trying to get to Greece and the shit. Like we had all that stuff going on 25 years ago. And now we're seeing whole countries like France that are going to be Muslim here pretty soon. And it's kind of crazy that we're talking about it, but they're having like, I think it was the birth rate. The birth rate is below 1 in France for normal France people. The immigrants is like 7. right? Like they're like, hey man, we're gonna move in here. And I think that has a huge play in all of this, to your point, Aaron, that everybody's looking at this in the current state and they're not looking back at the 25-year clock that has been ticking for 25 years. And so then my question is, like, as soon as France ticks over to full Muslim, they're like, I'm not blaming it on the religion. I'm not blaming it on the people. I'm just telling you the facts. Like Aaron said, grenades, knives, guns, they are killing people over there at a pretty steady rate right now. And they're destabilizing the countries. Oslo, one of the Norwegian countries, took a bunch of them. And now they're talking about sending them all home.
Sweden.
And I'm like,
yeah,
Sweden is, yeah. Sweden's been talking about that but I think it's also important that we understand it's not like, sure, it's not the Saudi princes and it's not Dubai and it's not Qatar. It's not all these.
Right.
Yeah, we can't just say Islam is the devil, because you can look at all of these insanely, amazingly progressed, fantastic Islamic countries. What it is mostly is from war-torn Northern Africa, Iraq, Syria, all of these places that, well, who maybe is responsible for creating the refugee crises? I don't know. Maybe you talk about a 20-year plan coming to fruition. I don't know. What was the global war on terror? Where are tons, we talk about Al-Qaeda, ISIS, all of these things. Where did they come from? How did they start? Well, these are, to Jake's point, these are the people, the adult males coming in from war-torn countries that are, whether you want to call it Islam, Christianity, Judaism, doesn't matter. They're culturally coming from just destitute third world war-torn countries, right? And you're going to flood that into a system where that's all they know, into Spain or all these European countries. Of course, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah,
but it's also
right.
It's also by design. A lot of this is create a refugee crisis, open the borders to flood in and destabilize Europe. I mean, I think it's very, very specifically by design. It's not like any of this was a big accident that we just whoopsies had a refugee crisis. I don't believe that. I feel like it's been facilitated, most of it.
Yeah, I don't know, because going back to, like, we saw a lot of these mass migrations happening, like you said, Iraq and Syria, when all of a sudden they were going across, the land bridges, just walking around the Med, basically. Poland shut the borders hard on them, said no. Germany opened up. They had to walk through, the Eastern Europe, all these areas. And if they found through policy, I remember the big debates in Europe at the time, but Germany opened the borders, let them in. France had a long apologist policy going on from the colonial era, right? With, Algiers and all their colonies. Yeah. And so I think, to Jake's point too, you're destabilized because of the policies, where the policies aren't holding people to the line like everyone else is held. And to your point, Nate, if the people come from, all they know is either Sharia law or no law, they know the law of the club. I just take what I get. I survive. Yeah, whatever they know, and that's what you get. Unless you assimilate them, enforce it, and do things right, you're going to start out of the kindness of your heart. You're going to get a destabilized country where the rule of law no longer matters. It's the rule of the tribe, the rule of the fang and the claw. And so and it's unfortunate to see, but the corrective matter is not that. It's not complex. It just takes tremendous political will to reverse what's going on in Europe right now,
Well, and there's a cultural aspect to it too. And it's that not all cultures are created equally. And we have a rampant case of suicidal empathy over in the entirety of Europe. Like, let's say, for instance, you're at a beach with your kids in Italy and you're just trying to have a nice time. And then this dude's jerking it in front of your kids with no penalty. Here's little kids walking around on the beach. There's a 3-5-year-old child right here. And this gentleman is just beating
We're not even going to show that. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude.
What
but yeah, to your point.
What in the world? Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Like, and it's suicidal empathy at its greatest. It's these women. And by the way, later in that video, there is a woman that literally confronts that guy and stops him from getting his ass beaten for doing that on the beach. That is the cultural aspect of this, is that the line, the Overton window has shifted so far for what's acceptable that you will literally have people that live in that country that just did that in front of a kid. They will protect them from the accountability that they have. And that is a cultural problem.
Yeah, it's a problem.
We're having that cultural problem in America, Aaron.
We are.
Who you telling, brother? I get it.
a bunch of, you can name the right? We won't talk about it, but like that's just what it is, right? Like
It's the Red Green Alliance.
Yeah, like and so it's interesting because we talk about the global picture. I'm gonna bring it back to the country. Like our country got so many problems, right? Like I'm from Washington State. They better help. They don't ever vote me in as the governor, because I'm gonna tell you right now, all them homeless people are gone, right? Like there's trucks and people holding people hostage saying, I will throw this handful of dog crap on you if you don't give me $5. Like the craziest stuff. And like, what planet are we on, man? Like,
brother, my daughter lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and she was literally almost assaulted by a chick. She was standing in line, and some homeless chick walked up to her in downtown Albuquerque near the college where she goes, in a pretty nice gentrified area. My daughter's ordering food, and the chick was like, hey, give me your chips. And my daughter, who's highly empathetic, she's also not a stupid person, she looked at this woman and goes, hey, no thanks, those are my chips. And she literally got into a fight that escalated almost to getting the police called. Like, had somebody not stepped in, she was going to assault my daughter for not giving her chips. That's where we are in America.
God help her if she assaulted your daughter. This would have been Aaron free fall.
It's an 8-hour drive, brother. And I'll tell you what, I'd be in the car right then. We'd have to a talk about it.
But I got to tell you something, talking about what Jake's saying about, homeless people, all this stuff. So I'm working in Hawaii. I had like, some business out there, and I noticed in Honolulu, quite a few homeless people. And I'm like, doesn't seem normal around Waikiki, around Honolulu. So I asked locals, people I was working with, clients of mine, what's going on with this? They said there were some policies, I believe, in several states out west.
I'm going to tell you about our state.
Okay. They'd fly them out there. They give them a ticket. They'd be like, go out to Hawaii and leave.
Yeah. So let me give you guys, we have a great example here where I live in Eugene, Springfield. Everybody knows Eugene, Oregon, right? The liberal mecca of the world. New Berkeley, we call it. Well, it's basically two cities that touch each other with a bridge over a river. Springfield is where I grew up. Eugene touches it. Okay. So Springfield used to always be kind of the shitty blue collar, Simpsons. It's actually, the Simpsons where the nuclear facility is, Springfield. That's the Springfield. It's called Weyerhaeuser. It's like right down the street from where I grew up. Anyway, that was always kind of like the, low income, rural. And then when Eugene started having a huge homeless problem, that homeless problem migrated into Springfield. Springfield had a massive homeless problem too. So what Springfield decided to do was they made one change. And what they did was they made it a $500 misdemeanor fine, not to beg for money, not to beg for food, nothing towards the homeless, but to hand someone anything out of your vehicle. And it was voted in by the voters. $500 fine. If you hand anyone anything out of your vehicle and a cop sees it, you'll be fined $500. What did that do? That made it so the drivers of cars handing out money, handing out food, they weren't willing to do it. So what happened? Springfield has no homeless people. So they went over the bridge, and now you can literally drive through Springfield. It's beautiful. Everything's nice. You get to the bridge, you go over the bridge. As you hit the other side of the bridge, there's all the homeless people waiting. So to your point with policy, culture, all of these things, unfortunately, what Springfield decided is they weren't going to be empathetic. We're not going to be empathetic to this problem. Sorry. And the problem went away. Now the problem went to somebody else like Hawaii or Eugene.
And I don't know how true this is. Maybe you guys know, though. Maybe you guys know, but the policy of giving them a plane ticket saying, look, fly to Hawaii and never come back.
Also, they're one way is the way they do those.
Well, right. Yeah. And they get to Hawaii and they're like, it's paradise. I can fish. I don't really need
it's nice all year round.
Yeah, nice all year round. So I don't know.
But again, that's just one of those empathy policy type of things to where we're obviously not going to do anything to help these homeless people through policy. We've shown that because what we do, I know this being in Eugene, you can spend $100 million on the homeless, but 99.8 million of those dollars goes to the bureaucrats and the people holding the clipboards that are going to go around. None of that money actually ever goes to homeless vets. In fact, Portland, Oregon had $100,000 donated specifically to homeless veterans from a big donor, part of the Special Forces Association. And we found out later that literally not a single dollar went to any homeless veterans.
It went to the Somalis, Nate. Just say what you want to say. The Somalis got it up, okay?
So unfortunately, and that's California's problem too, is they spend $200 million a year on the homeless, but none of it goes.
It doesn't go there.
The homeless, right? That's a policy problem.
If you guys been to LA lately, but the tent cities are crazy, man. And some of the homeless areas just nuts.
All right, next let's talk about we kind of got a little off topic there, but that's okay. I want to talk about Uncle BB, friend of the show. I don't know if he's in here tonight. He usually is watching. He decided to straight up threaten America with Israeli special forces on Sean and Hannity's show. Obviously, this was in response to however you feel about him. I know Aaron is not a fan of old Zoran Mamdani calling him a war criminal and saying he was going to arrest him. Well, BB decided this would be a good thing to say to the American people.
Wait, hold on. I'm not a fan of Zoran Mamdani. I don't give a shit about how he feels about BB. Don't put that on me. You just made it seem like I was defending BB, you piece of shit. We don't.
Or you're defending Zoran, one or the other.
No. I'm
Good
just saying,
God.
regardless of how we feel about Zoran, right?
I hate communist socialists. That's just a boiler.
I get it, right? But my point is, this is where his response was from. Was Zoran called him a war criminal, and where is it? I think I have it here somewhere.
You just had it up.
No, I've of Zoran. I'll find it later. And actually, oh yeah, here.
If anyone's wondering about, everybody knows Aaron already, but just go to Aaron's Instagram and you'll get the education
So
quickly.
obviously, this is right. Like he sat in front of this, straight face, called him a war criminal, said he's going to arrest him. Right? Pretty base, pretty hilarious, right? But anyway, BB decided, Uncle BB, again, friend of the show. Let me get back to where I was.
Jake, your
He
laugh is like
decided-
infectious. As soon as you start laughing, Aaron and I are both off camera dying.
He decided he was going to go on Sean Hannity's podcast and say this to Sean Hannity. He says, Israel has Israeli special forces on standby if he's arrested in New York. I mean, this is pretty bold claim. So what is he implying here? That if he's arrested, that Israel is going to send like a Venezuela style
Yeah,
raid
reverse
and
Maduro.
kill a bunch of Americans and blow through law enforcement and break into a prison and haul them out of there? I mean, this is what he's saying.
He's probably just talking about Charlie Kirk's security team. He probably doesn't mean actual special forces. He just means the people that protect Ben Shapiro. You know what I mean? Like,
Hey,
But I mean, this isn't and we're going to show there's multiple of these apparently. Let's show a few of these before we talk about it, right? Also, he apparently threatened JD Vance while he was here for JD Vance's recent JD's been pretty anti our greatest ally recently. Apparently he cornered him and lectured him during this, if we didn't see, where he gave Marco Rubio and old Hegseth a nice little stern talking to as well. We can watch that.
the audacity of this
Nate, let
motherfucker.
me
He also did it real quick. I'll just show a few of these and then we'll talk about it. Did it to Zelensky as well.
Zelensky's like, whatever.
But
When
yeah,
was
I
he
mean,
in the States, Nate. When was he here?
they came here for Lindsey Graham's funeral, of course.
Yeah,
all of the world's
God.
greatest war criminals got together for Lindsey Graham's funeral. Of course, they had to, right? Like yeah. All the little ladybugs had to show up for that one.
I'm gonna ask the three of you a good question. Okay.
I'm excited
You're the
about
vice
this.
president of the United States. All three of you. Okay. And some dude from some other country comes in here talking shit to you in America. What I'm gonna give you my reaction last. What is your reaction, Nate? Let's just go around the horn. What is your reaction if somebody's giving, like, let's just say whoever, I don't care, net and whatever's is in your face just dog cussing you about something? What are you gonna do?
Well, I mean, like I'd love to say I'd give the middle finger and say, "Pound fan, get the fuck out of my face," but then my cell phone would probably explode into my face and blow my head off when I was on the phone call with my wife later that night. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's that part of it. But yeah, I mean, you would think a foreign leader comes onto U.S. soil and starts lecturing me. Like, yeah, get the fuck out of my face, bro. You would think. But
Yeah.
again, I'm not up at those levels to where I don't know what these threats are. I mean, they all seem to bend over and kiss the wall immediately once they get into power. So it's got to be pretty scary. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes like you're at that level, these are like official communications at some point. Like it's posturing, it's a show of force. Like Netanyahu, I'm saying this is potentially okay. Yeah, same thing. I'd want to tell him go after yourself. No, you're not going to talk to Trump that way because he can do what he wants. He's going to go nuts on you just because who he is. But I think like when you're at Vance's level, you also don't know what conversations he's had with the president or what else is going on. You don't know. I don't know fully what he's saying, but diplomatically, sometimes, you sit there and listen and they're trying to just make a show like it's a demarche. They call that a demarche when they're saying, I need to officially say to you and to you that this is wrong. I disagree, blah, blah, and you just sit there going, and you're holding your cards close to your chest, because sometimes the dumbest thing you can do is have an emotional reaction.
Oh,
it's a position of strength that like, you don't even faze me. I'm just looking at you right in the eyes and, listening, and that's it. Then you walk away. Like, you didn't even touch me. I noted it away, put it away. Like, I'd have some crazy things said to me when I was, when I was an attaché, when I was a diplomat overseas. The Chinese attaché would come up and say wacky stuff to me, trying to get a, reaction out of me. And I would just stone cold him, or someone else, the Russian attaché, come up and say something. These are card carrying, FSB members. And so, at that level, it's a very high game. That's all I'm saying. I think JD's been doing this now for 2 years. He's probably just keeping his cards close to his chest. I'd like to think, like Nate said, I come off the top rope. Oh, look at asshole, beat your ass. But
no, but I think you're right. I mean, that's the real stoicism angle right there, right?
Yeah.
Is all right, say what you want, and then later I'm going to skull fuck you without you even knowing it, right? On the back end.
Yeah. Give him a little smile later. Remember that conversation, dumbass?
I'd love to be more measured than that, but I wouldn't. This is why I wouldn't call it. Because I just tell him to fuck off. I'd be like, who the fuck are you talking to? Get away from me. But then also, I wouldn't be accepting any pagers, and I wouldn't be using any road bikes.
Right. Go home on your bicycle, not in your car.
Yeah, I'd have my intern start my car for a week. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And get your flip phone out. Yeah.
Running from cover to cover from drones.
Somebody'd be like, oh, hey, here, sir, we have your new Rode microphone that you're going to give this speech with. And I'd be like, nah, thanks, brother.
Did you guys tell me you guys saw when he was here, he went and met with John Fetterman? Did you see what he gifted John Fetterman?
No.
A silver plated beeper.
Wow.
Swear to God. I swear to God. I showed it on my channel.
Was he such a big fan of the op that he gave him one of those? Like, yeah, man, you get one.
I just think it's one of those. He did it to Trump too, right? He gave Trump a gold-plated beeper. Did you not know that?
I didn't.
Netanyahu did.
I had no clue.
He gave him a gold-plated beeper. Like
put a one in the chat if you knew about this. Put a one in the chat.
And then he just gave one to Fetterman. And he said to Fetterman, he goes, "What do you give the guy who has everything? Oh yeah, here's a nice silver-plated beeper." And Fetterman goes, "Oh yeah, I remember when you guys did that thing with the beepers." It's like, yeah, that's why he's fucking giving it to you.
I just think about Trump. Have you ever seen like South Park?
He's reminding you to stay in your fucking lane and support what you're supposed to support.
But I just think about like South Park when they're doing the parodies of Trump. Like Trump has piles of gifts from people. They're all in line trying to give him gifts and subjugate themselves to him. He's like takes the gift and throws it. And he's like, what the frig? The Saudis gave me Qataris gave me a brand new jet. These guys give me a golden beeper, dumbass.
What classic like boomer behavior that you're not online enough that you don't know that this is like an open threat to you.
Open threat.
Like, right.
He's like, that's so cool. I forget it.
They both hit Fetterman and Trump both were like, oh, so cool.
Melt it down and buy Bitcoin. That's exactly.
But
we need more violence. We need more violence. You just slap the shit out of them. That's my go-to, bro. Like I mean, because here's the deal, man. Like you think about it, like people don't really worry about us. Like they do, but like, I mean, you go back to the 40s and like we had some savages. Like we rolling across rivers in Christmas and killing people. You know what I'm saying? Like. We've gotten soft. Like we're over there in Iran and we played nice for the first 3 months, right? Like I want to go over there with 1 million troops and pull a Sherman to the sea, right? From the sea to Atlanta. And let's just get it on. And then that way people would be like, you know what? I don't want to break in case of glass. Don't let them break the Ben Pappas fucking break in case of glass. Get Ben Pappas out, like don't get Nate and Aaron out of their cases, but it goes back to the internal stuff in the country. We are in a very soft stage, and we know what it's gonna make. It's gonna make really hard men when this shit all fucking plays out. I just want them to invade the country, bro. Like I don't know how y'all feel, but I'm Red Dawn ready, man. Like let's go. Like.
I agree with Jake. I'm obviously very anti-war. I don't agree with war in Iran at all, but I do feel like as the United States, if you're going to send our sons and daughters to go fight and die in a foreign war and spend trillions of dollars to do it like Jake said. Go to fight to win the fucking war, get it over with, get in, get out. No more of this 20 years. I mean, look at Afghanistan. In 2018, I was fighting to take back Tarin Kot that we had given up and taken back and given up and taken back. And, we had people getting blown up and getting killed. And it was like, for what? Because we can't just fight a war to win a war. So I don't agree with it, but I agree with Jake. If we're going to do it, it's time for us to fight to win a war. If we're going to fight a war, in my opinion.
Dude, the last rotation in Afghanistan I had, we went and took back the Kunduz airfield. We lost 5th Group, Green Beret, Mike Cathcart after retaking that airfield. And then you know what they tried to make us do like 2 months later? It was like a month before we rotated. They were talking about retaking Bastion. I shut the rescue capability down in Bastion 2 rotations prior. And they were like, hey, the Kunduz op went so good. Let's go try to retake Bastion. I was like, what the fuck are you all talking about?
Yeah.
And these are all areas we had, and then we gave up, and then, it's just
for 10 years.
I get it's all like most of it's for money, right? The military industrial complex and politics and all that. But, it's just blood for sand and oil and things like that. I agree with Jake. I don't know how Ben feels about that, but I don't like the way we fight wars at all at this point.
I mean, I think right now it's, we've got a couple options. We talked about this last week too, or 2 weeks ago, but I think, one, we leave, right? We leave and we give them control of the strait. We say, you're the big daddy. You've defeated us basically. Our soft power goes down. Our hard power goes down. Our standing in the world goes down. Number 2, we pound them into oblivion and keep doing what we're doing for a long time until we reach the negotiated agreement. Okay, whenever that's going to happen. And number 3 is we do ground operations and we attack the destroyer, we seize, we overturn. The only thing we've learned though is that when we do that, the devil we know sometimes might be better than the devil we don't know that comes up next. Because as I've said before, the people who are able to internally overthrow the RGC, this might be the next level of Al Qaeda or ISIS that we don't know about.
That's true. It was
like, we friggin' hate you more than they hate you, dumbass. And watch this.
You're right.
So I just think, it's something, we've got to demonstrate strength. We've got to actually, do what is going to move the needle. I would say, and I'll say this, I've said it before, I think if we're going to do ground operations, I don't think we need to flip the regime in Tehran by doing a massive the march up like in Iraq. I think we need to take strategic territory around the strait, around Bandar Abbas and around Keshem Island, and even south, establish a beachhead. Because if we establish a beachhead and we start building up an Iron Mountain, we don't even need to march on Tehran. That will scare the living shit out of them. It'll change the political calculus. We could start to do a special forces war, building an insurgency, build an insurgent group, have a base of support as well. That may shift the timetable and the calculus of negotiations. That's just my opinion on it. Without having to do a massive, hey, did a little up the middle, go to Tehran. We're going to lose a lot. They're going to lose a lot.
Right. That's what I was just going to say. We got to lose 100,000 people to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
Yeah, I would agree. That's a far smarter strategic play than we're first of all, we got to take back Afghanistan. Okay. We got to take back Kandahar so that we can, we do, right? If we want to march our way happy asses into Iran, we got to take back Kandahar.
And
we don't need necessarily, we'd like to have Bagram. We don't necessarily need it, but we take back both. Then we got to work our way through Helmand, right? And we got to work our way through Farah, and then we got to work our way up to Herat, and then we can march our happy ass tanks all the way into the valley. You know what I mean?
I can't wait to go back.
That's what has to happen.
I really miss the Sangin Valley. I can't wait to see how far it's come since I left the last time. It's going to be
probably not that far. Probably not that far.
The worst thing is
fields are all back. Everything's back.
Is 2 years from now we could literally see the boys posting banging and singing. In their tank tops and shit, because we're back in Afghanistan, because we had to take the 2 airfields back because it's the 2 most important strategic locations in the Middle East if you want to fight a war with Iran.
And just so everybody's like tracking on that too, like when they're talking about those airfields, it's for the air support, the resupply. Some people will talk about a land invasion from Herat out to Tehran. That is a terrible, terrible geographical point.
Straight through the valley.
Yeah.
Boy,
it's all like,
how'd that work out for Alexander the Great?
Right.
What are we talking about?
Not going to happen.
But on top of that, it destroys tanks, tank treads, engines. Like things get stuck. You can't resupply. The road network, to their credit, is deliberately tight, because they know it's like you're crossing a giant moat and it's going to eat your equipment alive. So that would be for mostly for aerial resupply, and that'd be powerful. Airstrikes, air supply, Kazovac, lots of stuff. But if we do a march, the march to me has to come from Bandar Abbas. We can't go over the mountains near the near the oil fields, the oil fields next to Iraq. We can't go across that way. Too formidable. But
Ben, I'm gonna say something you're gonna love.
Awesome, do it.
Airborne qualify the whole Marine Corps and just dump them in the middle of the country and tell them
mass tech.
Yeah,
mass tech. Bobby was talking about a mass tech the other day.
Yeah, I did. World War II style. It's like my grandpa. He jumped into Normandy, World War II style.
Yeah.
So.
It's wild stuff, man.
No thanks. Good luck to the next generation on that one.
10% broken ankles.
I'm gonna pass on that.
In the sand. There won't be no broken ankles, Ben.
No, you just have to worry about the drone swarm that's about to hit you the second you hit the ground. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which that's another one. How glad are you guys that we stopped fighting the wars before flying IEDs?
My God. Yeah, the IEDs flying out. That's totally not cool, bro.
We were the ones flying the Switchblades back then. The Switchblades, watching the FPV cameras, being like, "Wow, the guys like this." Now it's everyone.
We had. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and also this thing about China sending these man pads over. Aaron, you and I talked about it a little bit in texting, but I mean, this whole thing, we don't realize we're so used to having air superiority. We can fly around these things. Mm-hmm. If they flood the zone with 400 man pads, that could actually. If not take down the aircraft, I understand that these F-35s, F-18s are very durable today. But if it's if they mass volley fire 3 or 4 of them, it takes down aircraft. We're going to start losing, the CAP, combat air superiority over our heads. I think it's a game changer because drones then could hit us. So that's concerning too.
So I talked to one of my young dudes out in the field. They gave him a shotgun for drone protection. Right?
That's a thing now, yeah.
Now wait. We only operate in the dark for the most part. I don't know about you. Shooting shit with a shotgun in the middle of the night is pretty fucking hard. Okay.
And especially when it's flying at 50 miles an hour and you can't see it.
You ever seen those Russian videos? The Russians try to shoot those things with a gun. It's horrible. It's terrifying.
No, thanks,
I asked them, I said, "Are you serious?" They're like, "Yeah, man, they gave us a shotgun. We've been shooting clay pigeons and shit." Like I said, so what the fuck are you gonna do at night? Yeah, I don't have an answer for that one. Oh my God. Yeah, man, you don't want to play that game, man. Drones, you don't want to. I mean, you look at Ukraine. We've all watched the videos, man. I don't care how good you are at special operations. Now they got the drones going underwater and they got the drone. Man, come on.
Well, they also now they have them hooked up to tiny fiber optic lines, so you can't even shoot down with the microwave. Because the microwave for you guys, because we had these. You guys had the big drone busters. We had them on the teams. I don't know if you had them before you got out, but we had the big microwave drone busters because in 2018, ISIS was starting to use drones to drop artillery shells on us. And so we had the new big drone busters, and the way they work is they shoot out a microwave and it basically blocks the connection from the operator to the drone. And then the drone just self lands because it doesn't have connection anymore. Well, now they've hooked them up to these tiny fiber optic lines. So they're hardline connected to the drones. So you can't even shoot them down with the microwave things. You got to do what Jake said. That's why they're switching to shotguns to try to shoot these things down because you can't even use the drone busters on them anymore.
No, it's nuts, man. And they've got the fiber optic cables everywhere, laying all over the field, battlefield. It's absolutely nuts.
Until they show up with a little Predator attachment on the shoulder, there ain't no chance.
Hey, man. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Guys, here's how ready we are for drone warfare. This is in Norway. So here's how ready we are.
We're not going to see somebody actually get blown up, are we? Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is normal.
Yeah, you're done.
We just dropped.
There's a better one of it dropping and it hits the dude in his head and he's still trying to close the tank lid. Bro,
ISIS was doing that in 2017, 2018, right? So I can only imagine how far this has all been progressed from here.
That's scary stuff. I'm telling you.
Do we want to move on to our next topic, which is Mr. Fauci, Mr. Anthony Fauci. This came out of nowhere, right? I think everybody's upset, left, right. Well, maybe not the left. I think I didn't realize. I did a video on this a couple days ago. I didn't realize Anthony Fauci was a hero to some people. I thought we were kind of all left, right, and center in agreement that COVID and the authoritarian government overreach was bad. But anyway, some people, I guess, think he's a hero. But anyway, most people don't. However, I think the biggest thing here that's kind of shocked and infuriated MAGA, especially, is Donald Trump. Just decided that he supports Fauci and he's going to honor his pardon. Which, if you know what that means nothing is going to, which nothing ever happens. But we've got this clip here of what Trump had to say about this. Let's watch this and see what we think about it.
Well, the only thing you can really think about is the autopen, because the most powerful thing a president has, they say, is the power of pardon. So he was pardoned by Biden, and I respect that.
No, he
I
wasn't.
know how powerful it is. It's a very powerful. They say it's literally the most powerful thing a president has. Now,
Okay, so
God, get
What's-
out of here.
I think
what's your thoughts on that?
just a quick thought. I think probably instantly he's just thinking what goes around comes around.
Oh, well,
And if I
that's-
do
yeah,
this
that's-
now,
that's
it's
my
going to
take,
come
too.
back.
And this is why Republicans will never win, because Democrats don't give a fuck. Democrats will take the power, they will use the power that they have, and then Republicans cry about it because, oh, what about the principle? Democrats do not give a shit because they will use a fake pardon. There has never been a pardon that was retroactively for 11 years for all crimes, public and private, that has ever been given by anybody. Biden, in his last 6 months, with the amount of pardons, I think 1,700 separate things that he signed.
Crap.
He would have to sign something like 35 pardons every hour for the last 6 months total that he was in every single day to get there. The fact that this dork doesn't want to challenge, you don't want to see if it holds up constitutionally. You don't want to have it to just see if you can challenge it. I get that you're working.
I know.
He's essentially the captain of a mutinous ship, right? Because some dork federal judge in the Ninth Circuit that's a federal appointee is going to tell the judicial branch is going to tell the executive what they can't do, which isn't constitutionally viable. You don't even want to fucking challenge it for what this guy did, the harm to our children, the harm to our military, the real harm that this called. Fauci had a pulmonary infarction that he hid that was a side effect of the vaccine that he got on camera. You don't even want to challenge it. You don't even want to put it in front of somebody and say, oh, maybe this isn't fucking valid. It's so fucking.
But you know why, Aaron, too?
Behavior.
Going
Hold on
back
real quick.
again-
This guy doesn't realize that you called Donald Trump a dork, and he's going to try to shoot you down. So,
Okay.
hey, guy,
Tell you what,
probably agree with Aaron, and you didn't even fucking realize it.
Tell you what,
smart guy.
Palordo, I got a high school education and I'll dog walk you live in front of thousands of people. It'll make you look like a fucking idiot if you want to go ahead. I have no problem
Boom.
with it. Pay attention
Sorry,
to
Trump.
what I
Trump
say.
I don't
is a-
wanna- I don't wanna
Trump
get-
is a dork for this. I'm
I
sorry.
don't wanna
He's
get
a
dog
dork.
walked.
It's a terrible fucking move. He's accountability, drain the swamp. I'm going to do this. He has more legal challenges from unelected federal judges in the history of the presidency. It's like 165 legal challenges. They stop him at every time. And you're telling me you don't want to use the levers of power when you have them? This is why you don't deserve to win again. Period.
What
You're going to
about-
get
what
slaughtered
about-
in the midterms, even with redistricting, even with your little postal challenge where they can't deliver mail-in ballots. You lost on birthright citizenship. You lost on voter ID. We can't get the SAVE Act passed. You fucking made your bed and now you lie in it. Terrible fucking move.
Aaron, let me ask you real quick.
Ooh,
Real
he
quick.
just
Let me ask you real quick. Hold on, I'll be Jake. One second, real quick. Aaron, this is falling right in. It's a dovetail right off everything you're saying, but it's probably a softball for you. But with self-interest, okay, going through the lens of self-interest, which I think is a very powerful factor for Mr. Trump.
Sure.
I think. Do you think possibly he's looking at how many people are saying his single greatest accomplishment was getting out the vaccine as quickly as he did and taking it himself? Or do you think that maybe he's worried that history will change somehow, or the view on history will change? And if he slams Fauci, it might come back to him like he made a mistake too. You know what I mean?
What are they going to do? Charge him 4 times, indict him, raid his home at Mar-a-Lago, and go through his wife's drawer under the guise of guns, armed men that were allowed to use deadly force on him? What are they going to do? Bring him
that's
up,
not what it's
bring him
about
up
for
on
Trump,
fake
though.
charges and give him 34 fucking felonies for a bootstrapped misdemeanor that they had
What
to
about
change the
what about
statute of
ego
limitation
though?
for?
What about
Like-
like ego? He's stroking his ego though to have because I'm saying some people say this might be the greatest thing you ever done. So if I can get a little more pull, a little more approval here, you know what I mean? Like
I mean,
on the
of
ego
course
level.
he probably is, because that's how he operates, and that's what makes me so fucking mad. Is
Yeah.
he can't get out of his own way to do this thing. He would get more political hay out of it If he brought it in front of the DOJ and the DOJ was like, well, sorry, the presidential power, it's pretty complete. And we know this is stupid. Then he'd be able to go out and message and be like, hey guys, I tried. He's not even willing to do that. Doesn't possess the Constitution to do that ahead of the midterms, which is when he needs to do it. All this bullshit about, they're waiting for the October surprise and, there's these indictments coming. No, there's not. And I can only tell you from past performance. Look at the past performance. Nothing's going to happen to Fauci. Paul isn't going to be able to bring him in on contempt. Nothing is going. They put Steve Bannon in jail for contempt.
Yes, right.
And by the way,
you think he's missing an opportunity? You think he's missing an opportunity too?
Huge opportunity.
Yeah,
politically. Do you think he could use some better optics? I do, and he's unwilling to do it.
I hate Trump's guts. We all know that. I fucking hate Trump's guts. And I would have been like, thank you. This is a win. I'll give you some good credit for this. But let me give the token independent take on this, because that's what I am, right?
I'm an independent too, so I'm
okay.
Everybody in the chat.
But this is something that I think people get so upset about this with Fauci. And it's like, first of all, let me remind you that Dr. Fauci was working with Donald Trump. Yes, Donald Trump, MAGA, right, to develop Operation Warp Speed. 2 weeks to flatten the curve, the initial shutdowns. The reason why Donald Trump lost the election was because of how he and Anthony Fauci handled COVID. Okay.
Well,
so for Democrats,
81 million votes,
right?
Like 14
but
million
hold on,
disappeared.
then that continued into Joe Biden under Democrats, who also mishandled COVID. It is okay to say that both Republicans and Democrats mishandled COVID. It is okay to say that our government overreached and acted in an authoritarian fashion during Trump and during Biden, and now currently during Biden. We don't have to be tribalist about this. We can look at this honestly and say, no, this was not handled well. It wasn't a good job. The vaccine wasn't effective. We know all of these things. It's okay, guys, for us to just across the board realize both the left and the right fucked this up. Now, what it's all about for Trump, Ben already hit it. It's one thing. Donald Trump is going to pardon everyone around him, everyone who works for him, his entire family, and himself with that same pardon that Joe Biden gave that encompasses everything. And so what Donald Trump wants to do is ensure, even though to Aaron's point, they're not going to care, that he has shown the precedent that as he said there, the pardon is the most powerful thing in the world.
Yeah, you don't touch it. No one touch it.
Touch it. He's doing it because we all know he's going to pardon himself and his family, and he's hoping.
Can he pardon himself too? He can pardon himself?
Yes, he'll be the first president that pardons himself. Yes, he will. Yes,
Jake
he will.
was shaking his head though. Jake was shaking his head.
The alligator is going to come for everybody, because when he pardons these people, nobody in CNN is going to care. They're not going to play this clip of Trump saying, "Oh, the pardon is the most powerful thing."
They're going to come. They're going to come for him.
They're going to use it to get a Democrat elected in 2028. It's going to be on every single ad campaign that Donald Trump pardoned his family and friends, which he's going to do.
Of course.
Okay, so here's where I wanted to ask my question like 25 minutes ago, but it's still
oh man, I'm sorry, Jake. That's my bad.
It's still burning. No,
I get excited.
It's very relevant. So I pulled up Kalashi. Right now, it's 58% to 42% that the Democrats are going to win the next election. Okay.
The midterms
presidential or midterms?
No, presidential 2028. Okay.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
here's the question. Okay. I'm going to pose the question. How the pendulum now is swinging almost circular 360, right? Like the pendulum is not in the middle, swinging back and forth a little bit. The motherfucker's spinning around in a circle. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a fair ride right now, dude. It's like the zipper.
It's like the corkscrew, right?
You're pinned to the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, I asked this question to Aaron. What happens when the Democrats win?
I hate playing this game because you can't prove a counterfactual, right? Their bench is absolute garbage. I don't know who they're going to put up. It'll probably Kamala's talking about running. Gavin Newsom has a terrible history behind him.
AOC is going to be the candidate. I'll tell you right now.
AOC,
Let's take the candidate out of it. Let's just say the mayor or the governor of Maryland, right? A West Point dude, cool dude. Okay, let's just say a normal person. I don't know how they don't just like you said, Aaron. They don't care.
They're going to do exactly. It's going to be
weaponize everything.
How are you guys' channels doing in 2020 to 2024? How much censorship did you guys go through in 2020 or 2024?
Well, I was still in the military, but
I wasn't. I wasn't on YouTube.
You guys,
I was
know
under
what
the
you
radar.
guys dealt with, though.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was-
I know
I'll
what
tell you what.
I know what you guys dealt with. That's why Rumble exists as a platform. The only reason
They
Rumble
are
exists
they
as a
are not
platform was
they're going
because
to
of the
pull
censorship.
every single lever, and they are going to stomp through it, and it's going to and the Democrats do this way better than the Republicans. They're going to pull every lever. Everybody's going to vote in lockstep with them, and they are going to shove. They'll probably be the first Congress and like House and Senate that actually go to the single bill thing, because they'll have control over it, and they will just ram through single bill after single bill after single bill after single bill. It'll happen over
Can
and
I
over and over.
can I pull this up because this is relevant? It's a post from the Patriotic Blonde, and I actually had it ready for this discussion. And I think it's important to
You?
Drake's point to talk about.
She's dope. The Patriotic Blonde, she's dope, and she pisses a lot of people off. I love her page. I
she's
follow
awesome.
her specifically because she
Yeah.
actually says true things.
She's awesome. So I watch her or I look at her stuff all the time. But I think this is very, very relevant to the discussion and for Republicans or prior Republicans like I used to be. She says here, I have never voted for Democrat in my life. I never will, but I will never vote for Republican again either. You vote for one, you get the other. I will simply not vote. Do you know how many Republicans or former Republicans, conservatives in my audience right here, including myself, feel exactly this way? After Thomas Massie, after every single fucking Republican voted to merge our military with the Israeli military, I said, other than Thomas Massie or maybe, I don't know, a Tucker Carlson, I will not vote for or support any fucking Republican. That doesn't mean I'm going to vote for a Democrat. But to the point is, all the Democrats are going to vote.
Yeah.
But you now have a
They're not
huge
stopping.
faction of prior Republicans or former Republicans who are just going to sit it out and they're going to say, fuck you, fuck the party, we're done. So
And
I
this-
think it's going to be a landslide no matter what. I think that 58-42 is way off. I think Democrats landslide it because they have disenfranchised 20% of the conservative base that has just said, I'm fucking out. I am done.
And
You know
you're
what I mean?
not
And that's a
wrong.
big problem.
We align directionally. We do not align completely on that. I refuse to give up. Like, I will never vote for somebody that wants to trans my kids or somebody that wants.
Well, I'm
to
not going to vote
the
for
Fourth
him,
Amendment.
but that's the point.
Oh,
It doesn't
hey, listen.
it doesn't matter if 20% of those Republicans, it doesn't matter if they vote Democrat, if they don't vote at
I got it.
all, Republicans
I'm
lose.
simply
That's
talking
20%
about-
of your voter base. No,
I'm
I
talking
know.
about
I know your take. I'm just saying.
My personal take, I will never do that. I will always vote for a conservative ideology that I think is the best. And I'll tell you, if there's a Democrat that actually starts speaking some sense.
Yeah, but there
Yeah.
are no Republicans with conservative ideologies. That's my big problem. You know that. That's my thing with Republicans is they're not
I got it.
conservative.
Yeah.
I'm conservative. But hey,
No,
I
no,
just
no.
want
I'm
to
saying
know-
that the political apparatus. So my big argument is, and I understand Aaron's take here is, well, Democrats are worse. Okay, and that's your opinion. I at this point, I say I don't fucking matter. They're
Hey,
both
yeah.
terrible, and it's like
listen.
I get it.
I either here's what I get. I either get all my money sent to Israel to drop bombs with an Israeli flag on it, or I get all my money sent to the Middle East with a rainbow flag on the bombs. That's my two choices.
Hey,
So,
Nate, I got a third
You know what
choice.
I mean?
Hang on, I got third choice.
do I want an Israeli flag or a rainbow flag on my
Hang on, Nate.
war?
I got
You know what I
third
mean? That's,
choice. I got some power on this motherfucker right now.
Oh yeah, fire it up, Jake.
Democrats are coming back, bring back DEI
But wait, Jake, say who's gonna win.
contracts for black people, and I'm gonna have a company and I'm gonna make a bunch of money.
Jake's you're black too. You're gonna crush the
Dude, Jake,
DEI.
Jake,
Yeah.
Jake, tell us who's gonna win. Like you said when we were together a couple Fridays ago. Who's gonna win?
Oh, you talking about AOC?
Yeah, that's what you said, man. People went nuts.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man.
I think AOC is going to win too.
I'm gonna tell you.
I'm not
I
saying
don't
that's my
care.
choice. I'm just saying I
don't-
think that's
hey,
highly likely.
If y'all, this is way before your time. Maybe Ben remembers. Remember they had that commercial with that poor British woman saying more peas and more carrots, a media broth.
I don't remember. No.
They could put her up to the Democrats, and they're gonna fucking win.
Yeah,
okay?
I think there is one person that if Democrats put up, they will lose. There's one, only one, and you know
You
who
think
that
AOC?
is?
AOC.
No,
Kamala?
it's Kamala Harris, and that's
Yeah.
looks like that's who they might actually try
No.
to run this.
They-
Dude,
Yes.
she's living in a mansion in Malibu in a private
No. I'm
beach
saying
gated
I'm
community.
saying Democrats are pushing for her to be the candidate, and it, to
But
me,
they
I'm
don't
just
ever
like,
That's
run a
crazy.
candidate twice.
why would
Yeah.
you?
Political savvy savant. Have they ever ran a candidate to slot? They never run a candidate twice. Nate.
Yeah,
No.
I hope.
No.
Before, but
I think. I mean, if
you
you're
can't even do it from state to federal, right? Like DeSantis got savaged in the primaries. They're never
Mm.
going to run DeSantis again, even for
Yeah,
his
that's a good
great
point.
record in Florida. Timing is everything. They're never going to.
Yeah.
It happened the same to Chris Christie. When he missed his
Yeah.
opportunity to go and had the most political wasta, it never works. It's never worked.
I think Tim Dillon had a really good take on this. He was like, I think it's going to be a purple state Democratic governor that kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. Like
that
a blue dog Democrat.
blue dog Democrat, that
Someone
comes out of
fresh.
nowhere, someone fresh, speaks
Yeah.
like a John Ossoff type. I'm not a big fan because he's taken millions and millions of dollars from AIPAC, and that's an automatic disqualifier for me. But that type of like well-spoken, tall, handsome, Gavin Newsom, but not Gavin Newsom. That's who I think is probably going to filter their way up. And
What if
have the best chance.
Massey switched parties because he wants to run because
Ooh.
he
oh
knows
my
the
God,
Democratic-
dude.
Could be something there. Did you guys know that Fauci pleaded the fifth 111 times?
I don't care.
But I'm
Donald
saying
Trump
that's like,
pled the fifth
Trump, yeah,
400 times in
450.
a single
did he
deposition.
450?
450.
Yeah.
450.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Let me ask a real
Yeah.
question for the
Yeah,
board.
I don't. Who cares?
I
About
got
that.
all sorts of good questions. What are you gonna do when the Democrats win and they show up at your door to seize your belt-fed machine gun that you bought for $4,000?
I'm
Well,
gonna
they
ask
don't
him to
know-
look
they-
at my. I'm gonna ask
they
him
don't
to
know
look
I
at my
have it.
doormat, and my doormat says, "Do
Until
you
now.
have level-"
Until now.
I'm gonna ask him to look at my doormat, which says, "Are those level 4 plates or a warrant?" Because that's the only way that I'm answering the door.
Hell yeah, baby.
Like I
yeah.
always say, I just give the same excuse the ATF always gives, and I lost it in a boating accident.
Lost
Sorry,
it.
that's what the
Well,
ATF does when
you
they
know,
lose
Nate,
weapons. So
There's a saying that says, "If it's time to lose them, it might be time to use them." And
Oh boy.
George Washington Carver had a very.
We're all
famous
just
quote.
made a list. Now we're all on a list somewhere.
I was already on a list. I've
Man.
radicalized the
Man.
FBI agent that's looking at my page. He actually agrees with me on a lot of the things. But George Washington Carver said there's 3 ways in America, the 3 boxes that we use for change, and it's the speaker box, the ballot box, and the cartridge box. I don't think the first 2 are working very well.
Damn.
for me, I'm at the point where whether actually probably if it's a Republican, Democrat, Independent, whoever comes out and says I'm cutting off all foreign military aid to all countries, including our greatest ally, that's my platform. I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to get anything better than that because I don't get anything positive from either party. So whoever runs on that platform, you got my vote. So that's at least we'll get
Can we put
one
up-
thing that's good if we get. But then
Aaron-
they'll probably not do it because they probably lied about it just to get elected, and then
Could we
And
put
then
Ben
we'll-
Pappas up for president, Aaron, and just have him run on one ticket, like the one? Listen, we're cutting all foreign aid to the rest of the world.
That's why I'm keeping my mouth
Yeah,
shut
that's
right
it.
now.
that's
Bro,
it.
you know-
That's the platform.
You know what? You know what platform I would actually vote for if somebody ran on this? This is party agnostic. If somebody told me we're going to bring everybody back home, we've got oceans on the east and the west. We have
I
willing
like this
partners on the
too.
top and the bottom. We're going to make Golden Dome. No more foreign affairs. No more entanglements. No more NATO. If they said that we're just going to hold what we got in America and we're going to let
Wow,
everybody
yeah.
else burn to the ground, we stop
Yep.
all immigration for 10 years. Done. You got my
I'd
vote.
vote for
If it's a
that. I'd
Democrat,
100%
don't
vote for
care.
that. Yep. No, I think that's the policy everybody wants right now. That's the America First policy, or that's the populist policy. That's you know what I mean. You're going to be tough to find anybody who would disagree with that, other than the Zionists. We got Jake. All right, are we good? We'll move on to our last section. Final one, little vet road drama. We got. Yeah, we're really cooking here. All right. Honestly, Aaron, that's probably. I love that. That's probably my new favorite presidential platform right there. Which you
Just the
brought up.
Monroe. All I want's the Monroe Doctrine. We drill
But
everywhere
the real
we can.
version of it.
Yeah, energy independence. We own the Western Hemisphere. No more foreign entanglements. You're going to bring everybody back home. We're going to protect America and America only. Shut the borders down for 10 fucking years. Sorry, we got some problems we got to fix, and let
Yep.
everybody else
The only-
burn to death.
The only thing we
I
got to
don't
figure
care.
out is
Great.
we got to figure out international economics and trade, because the reason why we have a lot of cheap goods right now is from a lot of these flows. We
Yeah, but I mean,
that out.
but
We
you
gotta
can get
figure it
those
out.
cheap goods from Latin America. I
No,
think
you're
that's
right.
part of the
You're
John
right.
Road.
I'm saying we have to
doctrine, is
figure
all
it
that.
out,
You're
you know?
right though. When it
Yeah.
comes to,
Yeah.
I would say to Ben's point, the biggest thing is manufacturing,
Yeah.
right? And all that manufacturing is in China, Bangladesh, and Vietnam. So a lot of it's in Mexico, but you'd have to,
We have to figure it
Well,
out. Yeah.
yeah, you'd have but I mean, again, you can do it. Any
Yeah.
of this is doable, right?
Yeah.
It's
If
just
we
having
paid more
the will.
attention to the Western Hemisphere like we are now, I mean,
Yeah. All right, final one, guys. We're going to talk about Lone Survivor. A little bit of vet bro drama because we got a bunch of special operators on the panel. We also have our token Navy SEAL here, and we're going to talk about Lone Survivor Marcus Luttrell. Now, you know, this has always been a hot topic debate of whether, you know, this story is Ben's out of here, whether this story is made up, not made up. But Andy Stump recently did a podcast with, I believe his name's Ross Schneiderman, and they detailed deep into this. And turns out the entire thing was fabricated and made up, ladies and gentlemen. There's a few different clips I want to play real quick for us to be able to see this. Andy absolutely crushed this episode. Let's take a look at these real quick, and then we'll talk about them. All right, first one is going to be at 1:30 here.
Did the book Lone Survivor let everybody else off the chain? No, that takes agency away from the authors who choose to lie.
Bam. So you got all the big Navy, Naval Special Warfare, government politicians, got the author. And I'll say this about Andy. We're not friends, but he's holding Marcus feet to the fire, right? Ouch. I'm sure this wasn't an easy one to do.
Because it gives them an out, an excuse. And I don't accept that. If you're going to put something down on paper, you decide whether or not you're going to tell the truth or you're not.
Okay. So we're going to start with that. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, it's all out there now. The story is pretty much made up as far as we know and are hearing about that. Yes, it sounds like Marcus Luttrell ran away from the gunfight, never fired a shot. No, we don't, know for sure, but we're having corroboration now into this. And again, this isn't anything that's not, we haven't all heard 100 times, but now it's being corroborated by people there. Some other things in the movie, when they vote on if they're going to kill the little kid or not, that whole part of the movie completely fabricated and made up. How many militants there were, right? In the book, they say there's 200 combatants. It sounds like there was closer to maybe like 8 combatants. Marcus Luttrell running away. And then the final one was basically the Navy. And Marcus Luttrell has admitted to this at this point, handed him the book and said, "You're our guy. This is the new propaganda book going forward for the Navy SEAL recruitment, global war on terror recruitment as well." So what's our thoughts on this? Another vet bro who made up a story and wrote a book and made millions and millions of dollars off of it.
Man, I'm going to let Jake take the lead.
Yeah, let's let Jake go first.
Remind me at the end of this I'm going to let the cat out of the hat a little bit at the end. Just remind me, because we're going to come in, because there is another massive movie that is completely based on a lie from the SEAL team. So I'll go into it. I'm not going to go into the detail, but I'll throw
just
out.
one?
Heroes of the Sun.
Well, I'm sure there's a couple of them, but so this is what I'm
I was going to say all of them, but no, sorry.
I don't know where
Seal of Honor
happened, right? But the SEAL community is really small, and I got a phone call, and the phone call was, "Hey, we got one dude on a run." I was like, "On the run?" They're like, "Yeah, one dude ran really fast at the very beginning and ran away."
Oh boy.
I was like, "Oh, okay. Where'd he go?" And they're like, "We don't know. We're looking for him."
Oh, I know the other movie now. Sorry.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. And so in the very beginning, like let's say in the first 24 hours, right? Because we're 12 hours behind or 12 hours. Yeah, 12 hours behind. And that was the report I got. The second report I got was, it was 8 guys and some kids running ammo. Okay. And I said, 8 guys, like 8 guys killed 4 SEALs.
How the fuck does that happen?
Yeah, they didn't do a good job. Well, here's the 2 things. The one, they had belt-fed machine guns, right? They set the ambush up. They had sent the fucking kids in there. They knew where they were. They just sent the kids in there to flush them out. It wasn't like, oh, the kids found them accidentally. But I knew all this shit in 48 hours, right? Like, and it was just like, we had ISR over them the whole fucking time. Like, I've
heard that too. Yeah.
But when the shit went south, my dude was watching ISR. So I sat there and watched the whole fucking thing. Helicopter crash. Motherfucker was alive for like 8 hours on the ground, fucking dying. My boy Jacques Fontaine. Shout out to you, brother. I'm sorry it had to go down like that. And the general wouldn't let nobody go in and get him. So like the whole thing, like with Marcus and all this shit, like it's just another fucking like, what are we doing, right? The whole Roberts Ridge shit, with the PJ. We don't want to give the PJ the Medal of Honor. Well, shit, now we believe it's Chesney.
Combat controller.
That was a controller. That was John Chapman.
Sorry, combat controller.
Yeah, Aaron will get roasted if he didn't correct that.
I want to get my head ripped off. But, I mean, let's just be honest, man. Like, at this point, it's like, who can tell the biggest lie? right? And I kind of with Andy Stump, like, and I'm gonna let y'all go around the horn, and then I think I'm just gonna break it out today, man. I'm gonna break it out.
You're gonna tell what I think you're gonna tell?
I think so. I think we just need to tell it, man. Like,
Okay.
it'll
All right,
do
well-
Eric Deming a lot of good.
Real quick, I'm gonna post. So One's Ready did an interview with the guy that was in the jock that ran the personnel recovery for Red Wings. Now I'm gonna tell you this. He comes from an optic. We platform. I love him. He's a good friend of mine. I worked for him as a Crow. He tells the story from his optic. Obviously, he's biased. Marcus Luttrell and him are friends. I want you to look at the story that just dropped, and I want you to listen to how he tells the story. And what you're going to find out here is that the story that just dropped with all of this supposedly new damning information, he tells the exact same story from a different optic. They actually corroborate one another. The episode that I'm about to show you and put it in the chat, it actually gives a firsthand account of exactly what happened, and it completely aligns with the current narrative. It's in the chat now.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I think just brings to mind. I think about Major Jim Capers, and then Colonel John Ripley, who just received Medal of Honor, both Force Recon Marines in Vietnam. And boy, it takes us a while to get through. I don't know what's going on, but the whole Medal of Honor thing takes a long time. And so, but if you have the institution behind you and you create the story that needs to be said, then they might push things through. I don't know. I learned about this from what Jameson said. And I don't know. I think, Marcus Luttrell is put in a hard spot too, because again, me just learning these things now as I see his, Jameson's video, I hear some things, was it really his fault, or did Big Navy come down? Here's a guy who's traumatized, messed up, lost. Yeah. He lost all. Yeah. You're the expert in this, and you guys are, but he lost his team. He's traumatized, jacked up. You guys know, we come home from stuff and you're like, yeah, whatever you say. And you don't want to go against the institution now too, that's supporting you and, propping you back up after you get home with all this stuff. And so at some point, maybe 10, 15, 20 years later, you realize, damn, this has gotten nuts. And so
could you imagine, guys, how that would weigh on your psyche?
No.
Let me put this, because I talked about this back when I did go ahead, Jake.
I want to give you one of the axioms from the SEAL teams. Live the lie. Learned at a very young age in training.
Wow.
Live the lie.
Wow.
So let me portray this. I talked about this, and this is not me defending Marcus Luttrell or Stolen Valor or anything like that. Obviously, you guys know my history, but look, I talked about this, man. Like sometimes I want to put myself in a position. This is much different than Tim Kennedy. Right? Tim Kennedy decided, I want to make millions of fucking dollars, so I'm just going to make up stories that didn't ever exist and I never even was on, and I'm just going to steal my buddy's stories. That is a very different situation than Marcus Luttrell and Lone Survivor, who was on this operation, did have everybody he was killed with. I don't know what happened. Did he flee? Did he run? I hope not. I hope he at least tried to defend, and then he was the last man out and tried and said, hey, I'm going to save my own fucking life. Okay, so I'm trying not to be too judgmental. Then, right, you're in the hospital after all of this, and some 3-star fucking admiral walks in and goes, hey, son, you're going to be the new poster child for recruitment for the United States Navy and Navy SEALs. Here's the book. We're going to put you on a book tour. Here's all these things. I can't imagine the levity and weight that would have on you as you're sitting in a hospital bed as all your fucking teammates just got killed. And now you got commanders being like, yep, here we go. We're going to push this. It's the greatest thing ever. You're a hero. And what are you supposed to do there? I mean, I would hope that I would have the moral ability to say, no, I'm not going to do this, but I don't fucking know. Back then, when you're a 24, 25-year-old kid in this situation, I don't know how old he was necessarily. And then to your point, Ben, 5 years go by, 10 years go by, your buddies are still dead, and now you're thinking about, fuck, I'm living this lie. Like my buddies died because of this lie. They died. Now I'm living a lie on top of their heroism. I can't imagine what that would do to you. And again, not to defend him, it's just such a sad situation that I believe he was put in. I don't think Marcus is a bad guy from everything I've heard, and I think it's a very different situation. I'm not defending it, but it's a different situation than someone like Tim Kennedy, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys thought.
Because people can start salami slicing too on your integrity. You know what I mean? It's like he didn't even, let's say, intentionally say it, like you're saying the Tim Kennedy thing, where you're writing a book, it's active and all that, and he's got his own issues. But with this, all of a sudden, like you said, you're traumatized. You wake up, pretty rough mission, right? Pretty rough combat mission, any way you slice it. And I don't know about you guys. There are times though I got done with something, I didn't want to even think about it, any of it. I didn't want to talk to anybody, because compartmentalization and avoidance is a real thing in trauma. We don't want to go there. We don't want to talk to anything associated to it. So again, I'm not, and again, like you said, I'm not defending him. I'm trying to understand because this stuff is so strange to me.
One more. Now tie this into this. What we just found out from Jake, it wasn't 200 insurgents. It was 8. Your buddies, they're not the heroes that the movie claims they are.
Right.
And now you have to say it's not just his story that he's going to come say isn't true. Now he's got to come tell his families of his friends that just died that they're not the heroes that they think they are.
Yeah.
Right. That none of this in this movie is true. Right.
So
I think about it that
rough.
way. That part, I probably would hold that to the chest for the rest of my life and live the lie simply because
protecting your brothers,
protect my brothers. And again, I want them to be heroes, even if it's not true, in their families' minds and their kids' minds, their sons that are going to grow up to remember dad's a hero and he can look in the movies. It's like one of those things. It's like I try to put myself in those shoes, and all of a sudden you're like, oh fuck, man.
Powerful question,
think
man.
about this. Marcus Luttrell told them when they got him that Axelman was dead, right? And they found Axelman 3 miles or two and some change miles away from where the firefight happened.
Yeah, you couldn't find him at first, right?
He did not die, whatever it was, 4 days ago. He had died recently.
Oh, damn.
I mean, the luggage that he is carrying, is beyond epic, right? Like I don't even really care about it like at this point because he's got to carry the burdens, but I just think like there's so much shit going on. Like Ben said, I can't point a finger at him and just be like, I would rather point the finger at Big Navy, at all the other craziness that was going on. Cause I think he's just a war fighter. He was a casualty of the situation. Right. You want to say something, Aaron, before I let the cat out of the bag?
I was just going to say final thing before we do that. That's why in all the Stolen Valor expose content I've done, I've never gone after Marcus.
Yeah.
I just like, you know what? I just don't, I don't envy the dude at all. You know? And I don't think he was ill-intentioned. I don't think he was like, I'm going to figure out how I can make millions of fucking dollars off this baby. Like, I don't think he's that guy.
Yeah.
But anyway,
also,
go ahead, Jake.
Just to clarify, this is not me defending anybody. This is just me telling you a true fact. He's also been one of the biggest donors silently to the Eagle Fund. Like he has donated millions upon millions of dollars.
He just helped get the Ibogaine bill across. People don't know that about him.
That's his twin brother, right? His twin brother, the other Luttrell, I'm blanking on his name, is one of the biggest Ibogaine. He's in Ibogaine. He's in Kentucky. He's a representative of Kentucky. Dude, he's done a lot. I don't know if it's out of guilt. I can't say his intent, but I can say it's a true thing. That's all I got.
Wow.
Jake.
So we got this movie called Lone Survivor, okay? We're finding out that the whole thing is fictitious. The heroes are crazy. Like the whole thing is insane, okay? Well, there's another big Navy SEAL movie out kind of around the same time called The American Sniper.
Oh God!
It was an absolute barn burner. Amazing story. My man in Fallujah shooting everybody. Okay, but did anybody wonder why did he get out of the Navy so quickly after his deployment? There's a lot of smoke and mirrors about why he got out of the deployment. So I'm going to pose the question to the internet to find out what really caused Chris Kyle to get out of the Navy. I'm not going to say it on here.
Okay, good. I was almost like, I don't think we should. You can tell the boys in the group chat they don't know, but I'm like, I'm sitting here with my going, is Jake going to fucking say this out loud? Sorry, chat. But
of all the times to make Nate the guy that's spotting and the voice of reason.
I'm like,
easy, Nate. Easy.
Hey, if you really want to know, call up Eric Deming and ask the question and you can get the answer. But you better be sitting down when he tells you why. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to.
What a master storyteller. Everybody in the chat, take notes. Jake is a master storyteller. The suspense.
Obviously, American Sniper is another one that's heavily fabricated as well, obviously.
Do you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, a little bit. I think we've had some conversations, but I've got
Hey,
a good. I've
Okay,
got
so
a good.
everybody in here.
No, you
knows-
would trust me. If Jake had told you, you would know immediately. What?
Yeah,
what
I'll
this
call
is.
you afterwards and I'll fill you in.
I
But
think you've told me before, but I've got a really
I
strong
just want, like,
compartmentalization
out the world.
ability.
We'll give a little bit of hint. It's a little bit more deep than this, right? How about that? That's one hint. We'll leave
yeah,
it at that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, but go find out,
It's
right? Like,
further than that.
It sounds like it might be connected to someone else who's pretty big too. I don't know.
a bunch of people that are pretty big,
Okay.
man. Like,
Yeah.
not-
Okay,
it
let's
is-
leave it at that, Jake.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
I mean,
Next-
I
Pull
love
up.
it.
We're pulling
Chat,
up.
Chat,
Did I
we're
tell
not
you guys
trying
that? Did I tell you guys Fauci said I plead the fifth 111 times? See, that's my way of getting us out of it.
There we go.
Hey, I did
No,
good job.
so
Hey, I was-
well,
I was
that
break out the
that
can of Wuhan,
story to Jake's point, that story will come out eventually.
It
Right?
will.
And you'll be
It will.
blown. You're going to be shocked and blown away when it does. But
Wow.
I don't
I
think,
think
we're
I think
we're not the ones that need to be telling that story.
Got
You know
it.
what I mean?
I think it will be bigger than this whole Marcus Luttrell
100%.
Survivor. 100%.
Wow.
All right,
God,
All right,
gotta
we
know
did
the
it.
story now.
Woo!
we made it to the end. Great show.
Hey, we're
Big
done?
show tonight. We got to get through super chats. I know Aaron has to get out of
That's
here. quick,
another
but if
hour.
You guys want to? Yeah, we're gonna blow through them.
Hey, Aaron,
Uh,
let me give you, hang on. Let me give Aaron some pub, man. So I know Aaron like knocks
I'm gonna
on
piss
his
real quick before we
education.
start super chats.
Okay.
Nice.
Aaron knocks on his education, even though he's educated. He's easily one of the smartest people we interact with on this crazy ass live, and he's just smart in general. But killer somebody in the chat said, it's amazing to listen to Aaron play 7D chess. And I want you to understand Aaron is always playing 7D chess. And that's the best part about it, because you go to Aaron for like 15 steps ahead to get the answer.
Oh
I
yeah.
myself,
no
I just
doubt.
kill what's in front of me. I got my hammer, I crush it, I like move on. Like, I'm not playing chess. I'm playing like own the moment right now. So
Yeah.
anyway, I just want to send you that shout out.
Yeah,
Aaron.
no, I second that. I mean, Aaron's you're a credit to your community, brother. I mean, that's like, but I will say the guys, the PJs I've worked with, and in the past, you guys are a different breed, brother. Some smart ass people and very tough, very capable. So
Are you out of here? Aaron?
I've never felt more uncomfortable on a live stream in my entire life than I have the last 20 seconds. Jake, thank you very much. Ben, thank you. As a nod to the community, thanks very much. I am going to plug one book that's out there. JT, Jared Taylor, Article 15, Black
Ooh,
Rifle
hell yeah.
Coffee, all that. Listen,
Yeah,
guys, Jared Taylor wrote a book. It's called Deep Scythe. It is a fiction book that is going to teach you more about the military and asymmetric warfare than you have ever heard. I'm going to put the link in the chat. It's fantastic. He's a former TACP guy, and people don't know this. We joke about him being the godfather of Air Force Special Warfare and being the first really military influencer in the game. This gentleman has done more for our community and real dollars and getting people jobs and doing all this stuff than anybody else has had. I'm going to put the link to his book, Deep Scythe, in the chat. I would love you guys to pick it up. You guys will learn. You'll get done reading that book, and it will educate you on 5th generation warfare and where we need to be going as a military to respond to 5th generation warfare in the easiest read that you've ever had. I was lucky enough to give a little blurb on the back of the book. He's writing book 2. He bases all the characters off of all of his friends that he's worked with. It's a fantastic read. I'm going to post it in the chat. Thank you, Jake. And thank you, Ben, for your kind comments. I'm trying to be better at taking in.
Aaron, he's such a homie to the community. Who do you guys think made all my logos, made my intro videos, made the music for all my stuff, all done by JT?
This dude only helps his bros. For whatever you think JT is, or for whatever online thing that you may disagree with him or something, that dude has always helped anybody that's ever asked for him. He's one of the few people in this space that will literally reach his hand down from the highest of heights and he will drag you up. He's done it for me personally. He's done it for an entire community. You should buy the book. I'm going to put it in the chat.
Yeah, well, I need to I'll pin that in my description as well. Send it to me, send a link it to me when you get done, Aaron, and I'll post it in the description too. Because I also need guys. So what JT's also talking about doing, because everybody loves the intro song so much, and they're always like, whose song is this? I'm like, if you guys didn't know, he's also an insane musician and singer, and he has his own band. And so yeah, JT made all of that. So I need to get that up so you guys can go and download it and stuff like that as well. All right. Do we want to, what Ben is taking a little bit break maybe, or using the bathroom? All right, we can kick off super chats and get going on these. All right. While we still got Aaron. Says, why are we complaining? I've done more for you than your parents. Donald J. Trump, friend of the show. Did he say that? I bet he did say that.
That you could literally put anything up, and I just assume.
Love the War Room Squad. Please keep the live with them constant thing. Yeah, we're planning on making this a regular Friday night thing, guys. So this is and unless we can't do it here and there. Last week I was out of town, but yeah, this is planning to be our new Friday night hangout. So at least as long as the guys are willing to do it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh man, I love this thing.
Spain's the only country in Europe that says no to Donald Trump, and you know who. I don't think they're the only ones. I think Italy also is. What's her name? She's always slapping him around too.
Oh yeah, the Italy PM. I'm blanking on her name, but you're right.
Yeah,
Indian-
me too.
She's pretty based.
Italian lady. Fuck, Italian lady.
Bonnie Blue reportedly furious after Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez stole her idea of letting 60,000 men
terrible.
inside in 24 hours. Wow. All right. Best joke. Probably going to be the best joke of the night by Brian tonight. Wow.
Maloney. Her name is Georgia Maloney.
Maloney. That's right. Very clever. Bobby, thank you, brother. Says, I'll never understand why folks run to easy instead of fighting for their countries. Just my thoughts, guys. Don't roast me too hard. Oh, well, you take the easy way out instead of fighting for their country. I mean, I don't know. We everybody does it in different ways too, though. You don't have to actually serve in the military to fight for your country. You know what I mean? I think you can do it as a journalist. You can do it as a nurse. You can do it as a firefighter, law enforcement officer,
School board member, teacher.
Start by being a good citizen.
Fireman, just be a good person, like Ben said. Just
Yeah.
be a good person, man.
Thank you, Bobby. Marty says this feels highly orchestrated and coordinated. It's like more like a political operation to embarrass Spain's prime minister over his support for the Arab Palestinians than a spontaneous event. Interesting. Has he been a big supporter of Palestine? I haven't seen. I know he's obviously very anti our greatest ally, so it makes sense. But
Yeah.
Go Blue Jake, Mid Michigan in this bitch. I have a question for Nate. I'm a Marine. I'm a Marine and not familiar with the Army that much. Can you explain the difference from a Green Beret and a Ranger? Okay, yes, I can. Easiest way to think about Rangers is a light infantry, highly advanced light infantry unit, right? Green Berets we're different than everybody else in the entire military. We basically work on small 12-man teams. We work by, with, and through a partner force. So we train, advise, equip a bunch of Afghans, and then we lead them into combat. So instead of taking a bunch of privates out to go fight, like Jake and Ben would have done in the Marine Corps, we take foreign nationals, Indige, Vietnamese, things like that. So that's the main difference there. And without getting too deep in the woods, we'll take this nation back. The flock cameras are the very definition of 1984, poisoning our food and medicine, destroying healthcare. It's time for the R. Yeah, we know what the R word is. We don't say it out loud. Flock cameras, boys. Flock cameras. That's the new big one, isn't it? I'm trying to do more research on it because it's kind of it hasn't come out of nowhere, but it's sort of come out of nowhere.
It's terrifying. We have them here. It's crazy.
What is it?
Flock cameras.
Tell me you don't know what a flock camera is.
I don't
AI integrated.
They are new.
surveillance
They're
system.
pretty new.
Yeah, AI integrated surveillance system on a nationwide database that they can take your daily patterns of life without you being known that you're being surveilled, put it into a huge database, and they could literally make a pattern of life on you using AI integration, completely unvoted for. People just put them up, and there's like, I didn't vote to have flock cameras in my city. Sometimes they do speed traps, but really what they're doing is collecting your information on your daily life, from your face to your license plate on your car, to your family, to your children, everything.
Mm-hmm. They just
all right. Hey, y'all. I love you.
Yep.
I'm out.
Hey, we'll see you. See you, Aaron.
They were just able to, regardless of if you agree with this or not, Texas was just able to track down a woman through I don't know how many different levels of flock camera that left the country to get an abortion and arrest her for it.
Wait, in Texas, you said?
Left the state to get an abortion. Yeah, they tracked her like from her home out of the state completely all through flock and then arrested her after she got an abortion.
Wow, that's crazy.
Are you guys familiar with
It's pretty wild.
That's
are you
pretty
guys
wild.
familiar with China's
It's exactly what that China has, Jake.
Yeah.
It's
So
their
China
surveillance system.
Yeah, like you get a social score. So China has a social
That's what they're
score.
going to build. They're going to start
If
with.
you do something wrong, you don't get to buy food. Like it's crazy. Like
It's headed that way.
Go with your credit cards and shit don't
That's
work.
scary stuff. Yeah.
We're headed that way for sure.
I mean, come on, man. Like at some point, we're gonna have the R word, right?
Oh,
Like at some
yeah, I
point,
think so. Well, once people gotta be hungry. I keep
Yeah.
telling people that
Yeah.
there's no, as long as they got an iPhone, Netflix, and food in their belly, it's tough to get an entire population to do the full R word, you know?
Yeah.
So just formed new IBEW Veterans Committee, Lafayette, Indiana. Would appreciate any guidance plus direction for collaboration from this outstanding veterans panel. Please hit me up. Well, you're going to need to hit us up, but yeah, I mean, I think any of us are more than willing to give you some advice on, I mean, I don't have a veterans committee myself, but anything I could do to help. Yeah. But you got to hit us up on any of our platforms here, brother. Because I don't know. We don't know who you are, but thank you. Trump needs to self-deport to Mother Russia. They don't like him there either. They don't like him in there either, I don't think.
Yeah.
That the whole so Elizabeth Lane, who investigative journalist, I just did a show with her a couple days ago. She just dropped her episode with Tucker Carlson today. Worth the watch if you want to learn about not just Russia, but NATO, Ukraine, Israel, Russia, all these different ways that foreign countries leverage and control social media influencers and politicians. She did an insanely good job on that video. It's super interesting.
Yeah, check that out.
I'm hearing static. Oh, from someone. Yeah, we figured that out. It might, because Jake didn't have his helmet on. That's what it was.
The tin pot.
It's no different than when Florida and Texas bust and flew migrants to DC, Chicago, New York.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense.
These Wahhabis are just being used by Z10s. What's a Wahhabi? Hopefully that's not something racist. I don't know.
It's Sunni Islam. Wahhab is like more fundamentalist.
Okay. Different sect. Got it. South Americans. I have friends in Spain. They won't deal with it nicely. Just like, well, again, they're not really in Spain, brother. So, I mean, if you saw that happening on the shores of Spain with a 70,000 person
Different ball
boat,
game.
like
Huge
World War
different
II
ball
style,
game.
that would be a holy shit, I think.
Yeah.
Spain refused to let us use their airspace. Well, not just them. A lot of countries have done this, including
for sure.
Italy, the UAE, a few other ones too. Question for y'all's was wondering during selection, sleep deprivation or what was worse, sleep deprivation or hunger? For me, it's sleep dep. After about 24 hours of not eating, you're not hungry again for another 3-4 days. But
yeah,
for me, sleep dep is just brutal.
When you're sleep deprived too, you hallucinate, and so you like literally see things that aren't there. I remember being on a patrol and seeing my my guy in front of me going off this way, and I'd come to, and he was over there. Like I almost was lost, like completely lost. We didn't have trackers or anything on us. I was like going to be gone.
Now, I don't know for MARSOC, but I know for Green Berets in our selection, it's prolonged sleep depth because it's 21 days long and you only get 4 hours of sleep a night. That's it. For 21 days straight with insane workload, that's brutal. But we don't do like what you guys do in Buds, Jake, where it's like, how long do you not sleep for? I mean, like the whole time, basically?
Sunday to Wednesday, you get a 3-hour nap or a 2-hour nap, and then
For
Wednesday
a whole
to
week.
Friday. But here's what I was going to ask you guys. So you guys, have either one of you learned how to sleep on your feet?
I never did. My dad was able to sleep while he walked in patrols.
So
some guys I knew could do that in severe sleep depth. I never was able to do it.
So I'm going to tell you, we rotated in my boat crew. One of the kids, we were in the middle, like probably 6 hours into Hell Week. He's like, yo, I said, where you been, man? He was just kind of like quiet in his spot. He's like, I've been asleep, man. I was like, I closed my eyes like at the beginning. I was like, what? He's like, I fell asleep. I was like, yo, let me try this shit. I closed my eyes and I put somebody else in charge of the boat crew. And 3 hours later, I woke up totally refreshed. And I had done all of the exercises. The only thing we figured out, the only place you couldn't do it was if you were rowing the boat. For whatever reason.
You can't sleep rowing the boat. Yeah,
that makes sense.
But you know what we did during the boat? We threw somebody in the middle of the boat and 6 people paddled instead of 7. So
that's smart too.
But yeah,
that's a way. Yeah,
I think no food is a lot easier than no sleep.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah, you can get by with no food for a while.
Bobby says, "Oh snap! I never would have put the drug thing together. Makes sense. Traffic through Calamity. Yeah, that's again Latin American. That's where all the drugs come is through the northern horn of Africa. I didn't actually learn that until I was deep diving Venezuela back when the Venezuela stuff was happening, and did a lot of research and how the drug trafficking actually worked, and learned that only like 8% of their drugs actually come to North America. The rest is predominantly into Europe, and that's the way they do it. So pretty wild. Don't forget Spain embarrassed Argentina for the cup. The soccer, I don't watch soccer, guys. Did they play each other?
Messi had 2 shots on goal. That's all you got to say.
Okay.
The best soccer player in the history of the world had 2 shots on goal.
Got it. The island that Ivanka and Jared swam to and want to buy is in the Strait of Otranto, which connects the Mediterranean to the Adriatic Sea. Yeah, I mean, I think they've been shut down on that, right? And Albania pretty much kicked their asses out of there. Said no thanks.
Yeah, I think they band together and said, no, we're not going to do that.
Yep. Viral post that made people who come to Spain video telling borders were open in Spain. A lot of them have seen it on Facebook. Instagram.
Yeah.
This is very interesting.
Yeah.
I had not heard about this, but I will 100% bet you there was a big campaign, and that's the way they launched that.
But that's why I was saying the TikTok takeover too, because I think,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. They put tons of things out there saying, look, you can get through. It's not a problem. We're going to go through there. And, and then they started telling them how they're accepting us to come there. And so all these people just mobbed up and went, and then of course it becomes like a young person fun thing to do. Like, let's go.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no Middle East before the Zionist East India Trading Company forced the building of the Suez Canal. It's all just North Africa. They're moving pieces around again for the GIP. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about that. Didi says we've been fed the propaganda already. The past several years, we've been told that Europe has forgotten about Western values. I think you're correct, Nate. It's a wedge being pushed. Now, this is definitely propaganda, because if you actually, other than France and Spain, when it comes to population amounts, but if you actually go to look up like the UK, because I was interested in this, because the UK, people say they have such a huge Islamic immigration problem. I think it's something like over 80% of the population is still white. Whereas if you come to America, it's like 54%. So my point with that is like, some of that is a little bit inflated, right? Because I'm like, well, they're still overwhelmingly predominantly white. Whereas here in America, I mean, we're well past those numbers,
Yeah, it's
so
like there's one of my British friends told me, they're like, if you go to London, you're not really seeing the UK. Don't just go to London. Make sure you go to other places. Yeah.
It'd be like going to New York City, like Manhattan, and being like, wow, look how diverse America is. But then you go to Appalachia and you're like,
yeah,
white people
different.
Here. Yeah, that's a good point.
Nate,
Craziest part. Yep.
Let me say this about them stats you threw out there, right?
Yeah.
I want everybody to understand we manipulate those stats because there's a whole demographic of white Hispanics. Okay.
So are you saying the Caucasian white in America is lower than that?
Much lower. Because they have corrupted the white Hispanic demographic as white, because they don't want the stats to be like 35%.
Well, Arab and Middle Eastern are also
right?
Caucasian on those demographics as well. If you guys didn't know that.
The what?
Arab and Middle East are considered Caucasian on those demographics as well. Which
Really?
I mean, like, yes, they're considered Caucasians anyway, but a lot of people don't know that, which is kind of interesting. But statistically, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
the number is not like, because you're talking about it, right? We think of white America as white, but they've jerry-rigged the numbers because they don't want people to realize, like, the Hispanics in like 2034 are going to be 50% of the country.
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah,
that
like
sounds about right.
Yeah. And so, but anyway, I just want to throw that out there. This it's out there.
Cash Patel's missing what bag. Says, Jake, I miss you being on Top Shot where you rage quit and nailed your own target to the wall.
That's right. I own that TV show. Just so everybody's clear, I won that TV show because the next episode lost 1.5 million viewers, and I had
after you left.
I walked off the show. It went from 2.2 down to 800,000.
Wow, because you were probably the most entertaining one on the show. I can only imagine.
I dominated that shit. Yeah, you ain't got to win the show to win the game, right? I got 35 TV offers after that. I just was football. I couldn't take it.
Bobby says, I think Ukraine attacking Iranian ships is a ploy to drag Turkey in. Missiles from Iran have to go over somewhere. That might trigger Article 5. I don't think so, because Ukraine and Israel are very, very, very close allies, and Israel hates Turkey. So I'm not sure why they. And keep in mind, Bobby, that Turkey has the most powerful military in all of Eurasia. So I'm really not sure you want to drag Turkey into the conflict, because it would be against Israel. Right. So,
I think sometimes it's easier, maybe the simplest answer is the right one in this case, where they're just trying to, stop the resupply of the Russian war machine. So,
oh yeah, that's a good point, right? Because, Russia or Iran and China both are helping Russia as well.
Right.
So, especially with drones, like Iran has helped Russia out a lot with their drones.
They sink that ship and they're saving themselves quite a bit of pain.
Interesting. Love your hair, Ben.
Thank you. This is what I get.
Yeah, hey, those are great. TJ says, Nate, welcome to the 40s crowd. I am. I'm in the plus 40s now. My 425th LURS, ABN A&G biological father has soured on you due to your pessimism. Am I pessimism? I don't know. I'm pretty realistic and try to be pretty optimistic. Tried defending you, but stopped the moment he inferred he knew more than you. Regarding ballistics. Okay. Well, hey, your dad's probably strong-willed and hard-headed. And I don't think I'm very pessimistic, guys. I think I look at the world realistically, and I don't sugarcoat things. And sometimes that sucks.
Yeah, you call it like you see it,
Yeah, and the world kind of got a lot of shitty stuff going on. So.
Yeah, we need more of that too. Calling like
the last episode I did, I had an entire thing where I talked about, also, guys, if you see my content, I do a ton of comedy laced content. The entire purpose of that is to not make the topic so morose and pessimistic. You know what I mean? Because it can get tough in this world of politics and foreign conflict.
No doubt.
I don't care about over there. I care about the United States. Our greatest ally's new tactic. Now you either change in USA nor change in the Middle East. I don't train NYPD plus ICE. Well, I like the first quote. With you on that. I'm not sure what we mean on the bottom part, but thank you. Didi says China and greatest ally collaborating to destroy us with 1,000 cuts. Man, if you guys want to further understand that relationship and the future of that, watch my episode with Professor Zhang, because holy shit, he broke down that interconnection and China's way forward with the Greater Israel Project and and then there's also another Russian version of that. I don't even remember, but dude's crazy smart. So
there have been some people taking him to task a little bit too, about being too cozy to Beijing. So because I think he
lives in Beijing.
Well, that's it. They have leverage. I don't want to go too over the top here on it, but it's also I'm just trying to be respectful, but I think it's I think they have a lot of leverage on him. Put it that way.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm just talking about his knowledge and understanding of history and
he's amazing.
China's way forward and what like you were talking about different things that China's 100-year plan and all those different things that not his personal feelings about the CCP. I don't mean that. I just mean understanding like China's
he's fascinating to listen to, no doubt.
I hope the irony isn't lost that a draft dodger is going to try and draft us all for World War III. Guys, I tell everybody we got a ways to go before the draft comes.
Yeah,
I think we got a ground invasion first. Killing of the Archduke Ferdinand is what started World War II. Wrong World War. And it will be said the killing of Charlie Kirk is what started World War III. That was World War I, my dude. But
I don't know. I think we look at seeing like if we saw a world leader, like major world leader assassinated, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's the same thing.
I think socially, this is Charlie Kirk's assassination is our JFK, right? For sure. Like in a American culture. But as for like the entire world, nobody even knows who Charlie Kirk is really outside.
Jake, what do you got, man?
I don't know who fucking Charlie Kirk is. I had to go watch.
So there you go.
To figure out who he was. Like.
So that's my point. He's a huge cultural thing here in America, but like if you go ask, people in Ukraine or, Georgia or wherever, hey, what do you think about Charlie Kirk assassination? Most of them are going to be like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
So,
No, Jake, I was the same until that. I didn't know who he was before that happened. So, I mean,
Israel is disrupting Spain's economy by flooding it with migrants, and they have done the same thing in the U.S., but for political gain, capitalizing on the collapse, like Epstein said. I mean, that's kind of like Ben talked about earlier, that weaponized immigration.
yeah.
My question is, at what point do we start seeing war come here to the United States, and what will it look like? Great conversation, guys. Keep up the good work. Well, it won't be conventional. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody crossing that pond to start a conventional
No.
war against the big
God
bad
forbid
America.
you unite the United States. God forbid you
No,
unite this
yeah.
divided country. And you're gonna
No.
see
And that happens, Ben, right? We
Yeah.
saw it in Iran, right? Where
Yeah.
a lot of Iran said, you know what? Now we're all together on this. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Let me tell y'all this funny ass comedian said. He said he was like, you know why no one comes to the United States? He said someone invades Florida, right? Like they do an amphibious landing in Florida.
Yeah,
It
good
takes
luck.
us 24 hours to mobilize the troops, and he
They're
said,
already
"But
taken care of.
we got the biggest fucking fighting force on the history of mankind called fucking rednecks."
Yeah.
He said the army's gonna show up. There's gonna be beer cans everywhere, motherfuckers
Yeah.
with bonfires, and all the foreigners are gonna be dead. And they're gonna be like, "Oh man, we got him yesterday, brah. We got him yesterday." So I thought that was an awesome skit.
I mean,
We've
can
got-
you guys imagine doing like SASO operations, stability operations in the U.S. after an invasion? Okay, you punched a hole, you got a foothold, and
No
now you
way,
got to
dude.
face the populace. I mean, it would be a murder fest.
No
There are
way,
guys
dude.
like Nate who have his own ranges and guns, and Jake's got stockpiles. Can't wait. That's the
Yeah,
screwy thing
yeah.
about our country. They can't wait.
Not only that, but I got 50, 60 buddies that I all trained, and I'm
Right.
connected to the law enforcement. You don't think the law enforcement departments and sheriff's
No.
departments aren't going to be involved in all
It would
this?
take a
Like,
regiment to deal with Nate's enclave up there, even more, maybe
For
a
sure.
division. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, but to your point, could we see something like asymmetrically, digitally, immigration crisis wise leveraged that way? Then yeah, that's how it would look. But yeah, hitting our power grids, different things like that. You might
Yeah.
see some unconventional warfare, definitely. But yeah, conventionally, not in the near future.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Dave says that the thing is India, Pakistan, and even the Southeast Asia infighting was happening during the Cold War. So there was a World War III during the Cold War after U.S. left Vietnam for a timeline context. Yeah, true, but not. I'm talking like conventional or like an actual kinetic, hot World War III. You know what I mean? Which I think,
Mm, yeah.
we're kind of there. This panel just reversed my pre-menopause. Hot damn. You all need to launch a dating app with men like you. Wow, thank you.
Well, thank you.
It's mostly Ben, but
I don't know about that.
Hey, Nate, my first comment was like, fuck, it's 99% Ben, and you, me, and Aaron get a third of a percentage and shit.
Bobby says embargoes led to Pearl Harbor. Those who fail to learn, 100%. Bobby is if you guys know Bobby or not, but he's our resident oil industry expert as well as a veteran. History are doomed to repeat it. Just saying, this is 100% true. I mean, at the end, did we talk about this, or maybe we talked about this on
Another time we did. Yeah, I think so. Another time.
The main reason why Japan entered the war was we cut off their oil. It's
Yeah.
funny how
Yeah.
oil can cause countries to do crazy shit. They're pushing Albert Pike's 3 World Wars. I don't know about this one. Is this a book, maybe?
I don't know.
Thank you. Anna says, please, your information is so distorted. This is not the situation in Europe and not the Nordic countries. So blown out of proportion.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, I hope you're right too.
Perfect.
I hope you're right too. That would be great.
Mhm.
Thank you. No comment. Some of these are for you guys too, but I'm just going to read through them so we get through them quicker.
Yeah,
rather
for
than
sure.
trying to figure all that. We can all just respond to them. Ricky says, yet here in the New Zealand and across the ditch in Australia, we are both being invaded by bloody Indias, thanks to both our sellout prime minister. It's happening in all the Western countries currently. I don't know about that, but I'm gonna take your word for it. I should know more about that, considering Australia is one of the countries I deployed to and worked a lot with. But
Was it?
I
As
didn't.
fun as
I
it
didn't
sounds,
see.
Nate?
I didn't see that. What's that? But that was shit. I was there in 2020. Was the last time I was there?
Is it
2020.
out of control, Nate?
What's that? Australia?
Yeah.
Like the dudes, I worked with the 2 commando, like, or the,
Yeah,
the
but
what
I'm
do you
saying,
mean?
but all like every male that I know has went to Australia from our military has just been like it was the most insane trip in the world.
Oh yeah, it's insane. It's fucking crazy there. It's like, think about all the craziest Marines you know, give them an Australian accent and make them 3 times as crazy. That's the Aussie boys, dude. I'll tell you a quick story. Well, because we were working with their 2 commando, kind of like Ranger Regiment in a way. And then their SAS guys are kind of like Green Berets. The very first night we went out, because they have bars, like big bars on their military bases. Of course, it's Australia and they love to drink, right? And so it was like the first weekend we got there, and we had been working through the week. And then we all went to the local military bar on post, and we took in 2 15-pack Sprinter vans. You know what I mean? The big Sprinter vans we always take.
Yep.
And we were like cross-loaded with Aussie dudes. We jump out of the van to go walk into the bar. Immediately, one of the Aussie guys pulls his you-know-what out of his pants, goes, "Watch this," in front of the bar as we just jumped out, and takes it and starts pissing in his own mouth while they all laughed.
What?
And then they fucking just ran inside
What
and just like, oh, dude, that was like to kick the night off. And it was,
What?
we all looked around and were like, these guys are, we thought we were crazy, right? It's like American soft
This is when you get the
dudes.
quick brief. You're like, all right, no, nobody, you get in trouble. Be careful. You know, get out of there if they're doing something.
But yeah, I mean, that was my first reaction of like hanging out with the Aussie
Wow.
boys, and it was like, okay, this is gonna be.
Yeah, I've got family in Australia, so I've been out there before, and yeah, great place.
It's so fun out there, man.
Yeah.
But all right, Bobby says, this for Jake. Jumped over Navy Brothers some coin. Who had Jake?
Nice.
Bobby. Thanks for the generosity tonight, Bobby. Rooftop Rabbit says, well, the ruling class of UAE, Saudis, and the like are crypto called the Donmeh. And of course, they're in all this hands-on glowing orbs. I'm sure UAE and Saudi Arabia is tied directly into all this as well. I think that's just the way this works in the Middle East. Excuse me. Especially with, it's such a weird thing of like figuring out the connections and relationships between the Middle Eastern countries, Israel, us, China, like Russia. It's all this weird.
There's a lot there.
spider
It
web.
takes a while to understand, all the connections and the relationships.
And
all
who
that.
likes who, right? Because like
Yeah.
some Sunni Islamic countries hate Israel, some love them, and it's just like it's something.
Yeah,
And some
the
hate each
history.
other. It's very difficult. Thank you, Jesse. Very generous donation here. Says, has the panel researched these conspiracies? Phoenix Program and serial killers, Operation Gladio, serial killers Jeffrey Dahmer, Israel Keys, Sergeant Leslie Atkins, trafficking opium in dead GIs, Michael Aquino. I know Michael Aquino for sure. That's a Green Beret and around Contra. Operation Wandering Soul. I only know one of those, which is Michael
I think we
Aquino.
all know Phoenix Program a little bit.
A little bit of Phoenix Program.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer, I know the basics of that. but-
Mm.
Call Bobby Euler. He'll get you straight on all of these.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Bobby Euler. Yeah.
Oh, is he big in the
Bobby-
conspiracies?
Oh no, he's big in facts, and he'll have answers for all of these.
Yeah, he will. Bobby will. He'll pull up
documents.
documents. He'll be sending documents.
Yeah,
Yeah, he knows. He knows.
document
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Aquino is an interesting one because he's sort of popped back up in the Charlie Kirk assassination connections to TPUSA through. So Michael Aquino is one of the most famous Satanists, right? The religious
I have no
Satanists,
clue.
and he's also a former Green Beret, Lieutenant Colonel. He wrote a book with another guy who is on the board at TPUSA, and so there's like this weird. Like, why do you TPUSA, which is an evangelical nonprofit, why do you have a guy on your board that's writing Satanist books with Michael Aquino?
Crazy stuff. That's wild. That's crazy.
Yeah. The funeral was like watching an episode of The Sopranos or any other mob movie where the only way they can all be seen together. Lindsey Graham's funeral was pretty
That's
wild to
wild.
watch.
That's interesting.
It's funny how they all flew in from around the world for that, isn't that? Just for a random senator. He's done a lot of work in the in the war space over the years.
No doubt about that.
Didi says Aaron figured out why Trump needs to ballroom the bunker or bunker ballroom. Trump is going to stand up to BB. He needs somewhere to hide.
I did not
That
know
would be
about
cool,
those
but-
beepers, about the gold and silver beepers. I had
You didn't
no
know
idea.
that?
No. No
Yeah,
clue.
man. That was a big gift he gave, like a big framed golden beeper that he gave Trump. And the
That
one
is
to John
wild.
Fetterman was just like 2 days ago. That was he just
Wow.
gave it to him.
Wow. Double meaning.
Yeah. Pacific Northwest represent. Awesome combo. Thank you, brother.
Let's
Didi
go.
says, we didn't win World War II by playing nice. We cheated, backstabbed, and did what was needed. I mean, that's kind of supposed to be the point in war. You know,
A
It's
lot of
like-
heavy bombing, heavy ground campaign. Like Aaron talked about last time, bombing Dresden, all those things. So, and then combine that-
terrible stuff, by the
terrible
way, guys.
stuff. Yeah.
Let me say this. I'm going to tell you this. I listen to this channel called World War II Tales. We beat them on industrial might.
Mm.
We beat them. The Red Ball Express was moving more ammunition and gas
Yeah.
than the Germans were using in a month. We were moving it in one night.
But we
Wow.
also, nationalized the entire country towards the military effort.
Yeah.
I mean, people
Very true.
forget that we shut down manufacturing of all the civilian products that were recreational and anything we didn't need. And it would be like if what's an American company? If Ford Motors, Tesla started making electronic weapons instead of, or started producing with
Yep.
their manufacturing.
Optimus. They
tanks.
start putting the Optimus robot out.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's a big part of that too. America had such an amazing manufacturing setup already that we just pivoted it and turned it into the war effort. So,
Yeah.
So one of the things I thought was really neat, Packard. So Merlin is a British engine that was really good at high altitudes. The P-51, which was a piece of shit with an American engine in it, the Brits put a Merlin in it and turned it into the thing that won the war from an aviation standpoint. It was able to go to Berlin and back with the bombers, but they couldn't make them. So the fucking America was like, hey, send them over here, send the diagrams. Fucking Packard Motor Company made like 90% of the Merlin engines during the end of World War II to win the war.
That's what they
Wow.
say. They say, quantity has a quality all its own. So sometimes you can just, war of attrition.
Yeah, I think the World War II style of war, that was far more applicable. We've entered in this cheap drone, ballistic missile, digital
Yeah.
space now,
Yeah.
to where it's like it's kind of the opposite. Where like the way you win a war potentially is by using the least amount of resources to defeat your opponent and outlast them
In
through
a way,
attrition.
or make them use all their resources while you're holding back. Yeah.
Right.
What you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Rubes, popping in to say hello and dropped
Hey,
into
Ruby.
a couple of the different channels. Thank you, Rubes.
Awesome.
Appreciate you for all the support.
Look at Ben
you.
smiling. Ben's like, oh yeah, Ruby, thank you. Like,
Thanks, Ruby.
James says, where does Rocket Man fall into all that shit pop up? Yeah, we don't even talk about North Korea anymore. I'm assuming
He's
go wherever China
upset.
goes.
He's sad.
Well, he's also donating a lot of soldiers to the war effort in
To
Russia,
Russia.
as well.
Yeah, Russia.
So that's
Yeah.
the big thing he's doing right now for sure. Is North Korea is like heavily involved.
He's
in the
gonna
Ukraine
message
war
you,
now.
Nate. He's gonna be like, it's gonna be like that. What was that? The interview. He's gonna be like,
Yes.
I want to be on your show, Nate. Why don't you
I
have
wouldn't
me
want-
on?
I wouldn't. He'd have to come here. I wouldn't go there for
No.
it, or do it digitally. I would
Yeah.
100%
Dennis Rodman
interview.
win? Nate.
Yeah,
Dennis
I know,
Rodman-
but I was a first group Green Beret. That's a little bit different.
Yeah. Dennis Rodman's Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. I was in 2018 planning an invasion into North Korea as
Right.
a first group Green Beret. So,
Right.
but that's funny. All right. It's the profits, not for winning. That's a big part of it for sure. For one of you guys here, it says the Spain ordeal has made me appreciate BORTAC that much more. Our southern and northern borders have to be secure, moving forward, non-negotiable. We should probably just build a wall, but isn't it funny how the wall was only going to cost $5 billion, but now in 2026 we've got money for everything, right? 40 billion to Argentina, 40 billion to Israel. Like we can spend 100 billion on ICE. Right, you can spend 100 billion on ICE, but you can't spend $5 billion for a border wall. That's
interesting.
What happened to that?
Yeah. But
That's
it is
just
scary.
another-
Like that it's a scary event in Spain for sure.
Anyone remember the CIA-backed drug farms in Afghanistan that totally never took pot shots at Americans or coalition soldiers? Yes, I remember walking through a lot of those and watching my Afghan partners scoop up handfuls at a time right into their pockets, man. The amount of heroin, opium, it wasn't processed yet, that we would pull off targets, dudes. I'm talking 200, 300, 400 pounds a night that we would pull off targets in southern during that, because we were operating through the heroin.
Did you work with
Silk
the
Road.
eradication guys too? Or is that just you
No.
guys doing it?
No.
Okay.
Well, no, we weren't even actually going after the drugs. We had a different mission. It would just be
Okay.
targets we would hit.
Be
We would
through there.
find
Yeah.
we would find 300-400 pounds of opium
It's
just
crazy.
because southern Afghanistan, like that heroin Silk Road that runs up through Pakistan, Kandahar, Helmand, Farah, out into Iran, and then up through everywhere else. That's kind of where we were operating primarily through. And I mean, that was
Crazy
just
stuff.
everywhere back then.
Wow.
And another one, Rubes, that's probably for the third of us. Thank you.
Yay. Awesome.
Oh, no, this
Thank
is
you.
some shekels for the resident Jay. You know what I mean?
That's
Thanks,
awesome.
Rubes. Bjorn says, I love that name. That's a Viking name right there. For all, do you think DHS should have their own tier 1 paramilitary unit given illegal immigration, cartel influence, Chinese influence? No, I do not. No, I don't think any domestic unit should have that level of, me personally, that level of training and equipment. I mean,
The people that do the FBI hostage rescue team, HRT,
federal marshal, SOG group. One of my buddies is the lead trainer for them right now. They're insanely good. So we kinda
HRT
already have
squadrons are
these.
very good. Yeah.
FBI HRT is very good.
Yeah.
They're not.
There are a
like,
lot of former tier 1 operators. A lot of operators though too.
yeah.
Mostly.
Brent Tucker talked about them before and said, they're not CAG or DevGru, but they're pretty close in a lot of ways. So Didi says, don't we lose a plane or drone, or didn't we lose a plane or a drone to a Hawk missile system by the Houthis? Old doesn't mean it's not deadly.
Right.
Did we?
I don't know if I heard this before, but I know Aaron and I talked about. I think we did have an aircraft that was hit by a man-pad.
They claimed it.
Yeah, but I think he landed it. I think our guy landed it, but it's not the Houthis. I haven't heard this one before, but you're right. You're right. Old does not mean not deadly. Look at the grenade. Look at a grenade, right?
Yeah. We'd have to look into that. I'll look into that, Didi. I'm not saying you're wrong at all by any means. I just probably haven't heard about this one.
Where are the fucking silkworm missiles?
China.
Silkworm missiles?
Yeah, the anti-ship.
Anti-ship.
Oh,
Rain, like Doc, I just don't understand how they haven't hit any of our ships.
I think they've set out of range though. A lot of that, I think they set out of range. We've been using a lot of carrier opt aircraft. So, but I think
pretty far away too.
Yeah, I don't think I think we're away from their capability. And if they did come in, we've got countermeasures that would take care of it at that distance. But you're right. That's very deadly. That's a deadly weapon.
Bobby says, I'm old school, pre-Desert Storm vet. If
Nice.
we go in like this, we did in Kuwait and Iraq and kept politicians out of it, we could push their shit in quick. Mountains would be an issue at first, but we could win. Desert Storm is a great example of the correct way to go in with a military conflict. It really is. It was the modern version of go in, curb stomp Saddam, get him out of Kuwait, put him back in his place, and bounce. That to me was a correct way to leverage our military.
Yeah, and I think to Bobby's point, a couple things. People would argue immediately and say, no, the terrain was different. The terrain in Iraq was flat desert. It
Very true.
It lent itself to our superiority. But I'll say this. The American military has a way to fight in a lot of these places and could do the same type of massing and get a lot of the same advantages as Bobby's saying. And, if we were going to, but I think the only difference is given the terrain, we would take more casualties, and given how the cat's out of the bag, as Jake said, the cat's out of the hat at this point, because in Desert Storm, we surprised them. Nobody knew this was coming. We're popping turrets at 2,000 meters. Iraqi max effective range and their guns was 1,000 on their tank main guns, or something like that.
Yeah, we also had UK and Army Special Forces behind enemy lines, destroying all their Scud missile capabilities before they ever even realized that we were coming in. So
Coalition
that was an
helps.
incredible job militarily, and also one of those conflicts where you're like a morally justifiable one we never have, which is like, yes, someone's trying to literally invade our ally. We decided to help them. Like, if you guys haven't read Bravo 20, Bravo 20 is a really good book. One of my favorite books, dude.
Yeah.
One of my favorite books.
Yeah.
Love that book. I've heard some new things about maybe the story's not quite as true.
Oh no, here we go.
I know.
We might have to have a special episode. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm like, you know what? This is UK shit. I'm gonna just pretend that
don't do it, Nate. Don't ruin the dream.
Yeah, I know. That's one of my favorite books. So I'm like, nah, no.
Right.
All right, let's keep moving. Can confirm homelessness is at a new level in Albuquerque. Maybe had a crackhead come into my office on base with a guitar. Security forces found him in a nearby building kitchen. taking off his
Off
clothes. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was going to the VA, driving to the VA the other day to pick up my prescriptions in Eugene, Oregon. And as I was going to pull in, giant dude, completely naked, with one of the biggest hogs I've ever seen in my life, swanging, just walking down the street, like 2 p.m. And there's, of course, somebody at the VA is like on the phone calling the police, but it was just like, wow, here we are.
He's letting everybody know. This was like, we have Red Star Cluster. This is the Red Star Cluster.
It was. He was flexing on everybody out there. I was like, God damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
They made literal Fauci prayer candles. I do remember this. I know because Fauci had one in his office while filming an interview. Same stuff with MAGA and
That's
their
kooky.
obsession turning Donald Trump into Jesus Christ. It's the same like tribalist behavior
Yeah.
on each side. You know what I mean?
Kooky stuff.
It's like,
Kooky stuff.
and also just like, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, but like this, just idolizing politicians to me is just
Yeah.
like,
Be
especially
very
like,
careful with the hero
or
worship.
just,
hero worship.
or even, people in general, right? Whether, I don't know if you guys are Christians or not, but like as a Christian, we are told not to put human beings on a pedestal, not to put any human being on a pedestal.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
watching people do it with politicians, which are typically some of the morally most reprehensible people in the world a lot of times.
Yeah. Well,
Very,
it's
very
false
odd.
idols. It's having a false idol.
False idols.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Greater Israel Project is outlined by Oded Yanan. PNAC Clean Break Memo. Well, Clean Break Memo is very relevant right now. Wesley Clark, 7 countries in 3 years. Also, Saddam exposed how Wahhabi Sufis are Domne Sabbateans. I don't know what that is, who are Rothschild Balfour used. I know the second part of that. But Clean Break, you guys familiar with the Clean Break Memo?
No.
Oh my God. Oh, definitely need to get into it. So Ben, you know what the Clean Break Memo is. You're just probably don't know the title of it.
The
It's
name,
a little
yeah.
niche. The Clean Break Memo was the memo provided in 1997 by a group of Israelis to Benjamin Netanyahu, which he brought before our Congress and our politicians, which was, you've heard this 1,000 times, the plan to overthrow 7 different countries back to back to back, right? We wanted to overthrow Iraq, Syria, Sudan, Libya, Lebanon, and Iran. Iran was the last one. So that was, you've probably heard that before, right?
Yeah.
To overthrow the 7 countries. That's the Clean Break Memo. So,
Wow.
and it's interesting because, it sure came true, right?
Yeah. It's
we're
crazy
on the
too.
last one.
Yeah, you're right. But it's crazy too, because if you look at, what was it, 30 years ago, would you say at this point? More.
1997 was when
Okay.
it got written.
Almost 30 years. So if we look at, just like we talked about earlier with strategy, that you're planting these seeds decades ahead of time. And planting the seeds decades before, the execution is in decades. It's not in, 1 year, months, 5 years, decades.
Yep. But I mean, that plan was in place. It's not like these were, it was just an accident that we overthrew the governments of those, 6 out of 7 of those countries now. Yeah.
Scary.
Death Star in the movies, Death Star in real life. What is that?
That's the, Israel flag.
Oh, no. So it doesn't show it what I'm looking at. It just says,
right.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Keep moving on that one.
Right.
Trump ain't going to do nothing to Fauci because he's going to pardon his whole cabinet and family while he and his buddies loot the country before the monetary collapse. So, that's what I said too. I mean, we all know it's coming. The pardons are coming. There's no way he cannot.
It's so obvious when he said, the pardon is very
most powerful.
sacred. No one should touch the pardon. It's like a real good old boy network, because then he's going to sit down, take his place at the table with Bush, Clinton, friggin' Biden, Obama. They're all going to, these are the power brokers of the world,
This is where I disagree with Aaron. Is I think you're right. I think what'll happen is he'll do the blanket pardons, and then let's say, the next Democrat comes in, takes power, and guess what? Nothing's going to happen to Trump, and their side's going to be
100%.
furious. Like
He's
you promised, and it's just going to be like you said, good old boys club. No,
he's in this
we can't go after him now.
Major club. I mean, the most elite club in the world, right? Former U.S. presidents.
100%.
So
that's 100%. You're right.
Yeah.
I think the main, people say, well, they went after him in, with all the lawsuits and everything and the felonies. Yeah, but he was about to run for president again. That was a different situation.
And he's gone after a lot of people himself too. I mean,
yeah, I think you're right. I think they'll just leave him alone, and they'll be like, sorry, we can't.
So
the pardon is so powerful.
Right. He has too many people with roots and tentacles to where they want to defend him. Go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
He's gonna be 83.
Yeah.
Oh, that too.
He may
Yeah.
not live to 83.
Yeah. You're
Okay.
probably
Yeah,
right.
that's
Jay.
true.
He
That's a
got
good
some
point.
medical shit going on now.
Yeah.
He's a big man. Big men don't live long.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't started doling out those preemptive pardons now, because to Jake's point,
He might
that
not make
heart
it.
gives out and he doesn't have any of those pardons in place. And now what? You're hoping
Yeah.
JD Vance gives those pardons? JD
No.
Vance is going to be looking at 2028 going, fucking
JD's more of a zealot. He's more of a zealot than, you know.
but that's my point. He's like, I'm not going to pardon all these people
Right,
and ruin my
right.
chances in 2028.
You know, I was going to say too. I think, like, you know, the other day, did you guys see this thing where they were having a press conference and they shut the press conference down because Trump kind of went catatonic for a minute?
Yep.
Yeah, and I know you track all that stuff. I don't know how real that was. Is that real? A real event that happened?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's
Okay.
there's quite a few doctors that like monitor, that do like social media and like monitor him.
Yeah.
One of them's a hospice care doctor. Another one is a cardiologist.
Okay.
And they break down, like, you know, his ankle swelling and
Yeah.
like a lot of different things, and explain, like, yes, he's definitely got congestive heart failure already. That's
Wow.
100% for sure.
Wow.
But I mean, you can, like my dad has it. You can live for quite a long time with congestive heart failure. The biggest thing is like fluid builds up in your body. So then you take the
okay.
medication that makes you piss all the fluid out. But you're on borrowed time, right? Like you can't, because like for my dad, he had quadruple bypass surgery when in his mid 50s. The problem is like once you get into your mid 70s or 80s, like your body can't handle that level of, I mean, that's like sternum cracking, opening your heart up.
Yeah.
The body can't handle that level of surgery. So they
Right.
can't go in there and do quadruple bypass again. And so now you're just using your medication until you're
Okay.
done.
You can't
That's where
go up
Trump's
there.
at right now.
God, you can't go there and clean it out.
Yeah, he's on meds until he's done. So
Wow.
yep. Speaking of people that are missing, I'd like to hear the panel's ideas on Mitch McConnell. So Mitch McConnell, I believe, has been missing for what, chat? 39 days. Everybody thinks he's dead, but they're saying he's, I don't know, war on life support. The big thing here is they have to get past, I believe, August 9th is correct me the date on that, chat. August 9th, 14th is the date they have to get past, because if they don't, there will be a special election held for the seat, and it's Kentucky. And you know who would probably run for that seat? Thomas Massey. And the Republican Party is like, we spent $35 million to make sure he didn't get elected. We can't then let him fucking run and become a senator. So a lot of people think they're just hiding him in a closet right now, and they're just waiting until.
Yeah, that's wild. I'm not tracking that situation, but I thought he was dead. I thought he died.
No, well, he
We don't
probably
know.
is, but they won't admit that he's dead. But
That's
he hasn't been
crazy.
seen in like what, 30 something days.
That's crazy, man.
Isn't that wild? Oh, Monday. Somebody said Monday.
Yeah,
is
Monday's the deadline. I see that. Someone
Oh,
else
well.
said the real
Then
question
we'll
is
probably find out he's dead on Tuesday. To be honest. Yeah, people are like dust
Bernie's
him off.
Beach House. Yeah, 40 days at Bernie's Beach House. Yep.
Yeah,
He's on
crazy.
ice. Keith says he's on ice.
Yep. I love this one. Mel Jesus Gibson. The only thing that makes sense is they're doing to America what Joe Pesci did to the restaurant in Goodfellas. That's a throwback right there. That's a good one. Bobby says it's uniparty, bro. We know that. It's us against them, period. We need to stop watching TV and get together as a nation to fix this. So this is the best we can do right here at the moment with our platforms.
Right.
Is hopefully use our voices for good, which I think we all do the best we can. Because, I mean, that and voting at the moment, because, again, we're not at the point where – and I also tell people as a Green Beret who literally went and fought in a civil war, that's really what Afghanistan actually was. Guys, you don't want America to hit that collapse. You don't want to be at a point where we're at a R word and there's famine. And, guys, I don't think people understand how terrible that actually is. It's your kids are going to grow up that, your grandparents or grandkids are going to grow up that. We do not want that. I know everybody's always talking about that. We need a revolution, right? And it's like, yeah, I agree. Maybe a political one, but
right.
That's a lot.
I mean, let's look at let's look back at the French Revolution. The first thing they did is they cut everybody's heads off with a guillotine. And then the people who were doing the head cutting got their heads cut off too.
Yep.
So you gotta be really careful about what you're talking about.
I mean, look at things like Mao's
Right.
Rise to Power,
Right.
you know, Trotsky,
Brutal.
Lenin, Pol Pot. These were all
Terrible.
civil wars, right? These were all our words that happened.
Yeah.
And
A lot of unjustified big death and stuff like that. So
yeah, none of us want that, guys. I
No.
promise you that.
nope.
Aaron, this is for Aaron. This could all be saved by some Swensons. What are Swensons?
I don't know.
Chat, what's a Swenson? Jake, do you know what a Swenson is? We could all be saved by some Swensons. I don't know. All right, maybe it's an Air Force thing.
Hey Nick, you gotta tell, this is what I tell all my subscribers. If you give me a super chat, it got to be in 2nd grade English.
Oh, that's a good one. Aaron
I
sounds
hear
like
ya.
he mainlines Russo Hungo. Here's another one. Ajit Prop. Guys, I don't know. I know that's an insult, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe it's a compliment. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what that is. I don't either.
So,
I don't know.
it's one of the two. Thank you. Liam says, peace plan. Our greatest ally surrenders nukes in occupied territories, adopts two-state solution. Iran ends their nuclear program and reopens the strait. Both parties comply or harsh sanctions will come down on both. This would be fantastic.
Yeah.
This would be great for everyone, but that's why it probably won't happen. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get that one, right?
Yeah.
I'm a one issue voter, no wall kissers. Well, you know, conservative men are deeply submissive to male authority figures, not conservative men. I would say the new like what we were talking about earlier, the
Idol worshiper.
idol worshipers, absolutely. But
It's
I
different.
don't think any of them are actually conservative, to be honest with you.
Right.
Wrong choice of word on that one. Nixon ran in 60, lost, ran in 68, 62, and won. Boys, know your history. It has happened. Oh, losing and then running again. There you go. Nixon did it. We saw how
Okay.
well that ended.
Okay.
Okay, you proved us wrong.
Paul,
But
you got it.
I think Nixon was a little bit better politician than Kamala.
But you know what's funny? I always say too, I learn from my chat. I learn from
all
the
the
chat.
time.
I learn from, everybody I'm on with. And like sometimes I'll tell people too, like I know some things, I don't know everything. I throw things out there and I say, fact check me because I'm not sure. Tell me, I want to adjust. I also don't want to be too afraid to say anything, So I love when someone comes back and says, hey, this is actually what it is. That helps.
I just had to have it on my. Go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
I make up my own words all the time.
I hear you, man.
I just had one happen on my show on Wednesday where I thought I was covering the Charlie Creek roof, the new footage. I thought I had figured out something groundbreaking based off the way the footage looked, and I thought he was in a completely different position.
Yeah.
My buddy Matt from Trigger Smart, and I asked him, I was like, hey, man, will you watch the show and let me know what you think about this? And then he texted me and he sent me all these graphs and triangulated shit. And he's like actually showing the way the buildings work. And he's like, nah, man, you're wrong. This is this. And then we immediately mid-show, I brought him on the live,
Right.
mid-live.
That's awesome.
To correct me, to be
That's
like, no,
awesome.
Nate's
That's
wrong,
awesome.
and here's why. And that's great. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
like
for sure.
for me,
sure.
I don't want to be right. I want to have knowledge and be a purveyor of the truth. And if
That's right.
I'm wrong and you can correct me, then I'll 100% be like, great, thank you for that.
We all grow together. It's awesome.
Yep. Flew into Kabul 2 days after Red Wings. We got fed a pretty heroic tale. It's wild to hear that it was all fake. Well, stories like this travel wild too downrange, right? You hear a story that happened in the province next to you, and it can turn into pretty larger than life story pretty fast.
Yeah, right. Very true.
Let's see. You really think Marcus' only gun could have made a difference when his entire team couldn't? No, probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
not.
Also, like I said,
Hang on. I'll tell you.
let
what
Jake
would've
answer
made
that
a
one. Yeah,
difference. I'll tell you what.
he knows
would've
more
made a
about it than we do.
difference If the fucking comm guy actually had his fucking crypto key.
I did a whole episode on the yeah. If you guys want to break down on the communications failures, Jake, you actually helped me with that episode. I have an entire episode. The only episode I did on Red Wings was the radio and communication failures because I was a commo sergeant in Special Forces. And to Jake's point, yes, they left the wire without. And I know this for a fact.
You're kidding me. The wrong crypto key?
No crypto.
None.
I don't understand. No PCI, no comm checks?
No. And I know that for a fact because I know someone that was it Dietz, the commo guy?
Danny Dietz, yeah.
That Dietz went up and asked to help him program his PIS-5 radio. And the guy was like, we use 152s or 117s, 117 Golfs at the time they had upgraded. he's like, yeah, we use these now, man. We don't use these. It was a different branch that he asked. And they're like, we don't use these I'm not going to say, because I don't want to give away. That's confidential. The person that was there that told me about this, but yeah, they were actually there, and he asked for help for it, and he said, fuck it, whatever. And then he walked off, and that's the last he heard of it. And then so I know for a fact, to Jake's point, and that's the thing.
I think a lot of people, obviously they're watching this channel, more educated, viewers, but like people don't realize, like in combat, like you can think about your little gun. Okay. It might help out. It might, if you have a really disciplined team of shooters, but you have to have an advantage. You have to not fight fair. You need to get the element of surprise. But a radio now can bring the big flying machines, and can bring a QRF, and can bring help.
Brings everything.
Yeah, which is our don't fight fair motto, and our whole mantra. So when the radio is gone, now you're leveling the playing field to where they got guns too, and they can run around, and so.
If you guys watch the movie, they do show that in the movie, but they don't tell you what happened. They show he can never make comms. With Ben, keep in mind, a SATCOM radio pointing straight at the satellite in Afghanistan, which is directly above you, right?
Right.
So any communicator watched that and was like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But you see him over and over and over try, and at the very end, then he pulls out the Iridium, which is also like, okay, if you had an Iridium sat phone in your pace plan, the second you missed your second comms window, you would have pulled that bitch out and used it, right?
Right,
so,
exactly.
So they alluded to it in the movie, but like to Jake's point, no, that was huge. Just negligence there.
You know what? I'm wondering too, though. After you miss a couple comm windows, where's the QRF? Why aren't the birds spinning? Why aren't things coming?
Jake, didn't you say they refused to send them in?
Let me say.
Oh, the Army commander said no or something.
No, I'm gonna tell you.
I don't remember exactly. I thought you mentioned something about it when we were talking.
No. Just okay. Here's what I'm gonna say, Ben.
Yeah.
The Green Berets missed comm windows. You miss one, and you're not already on your way out. You're gonna get fired.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In the SEAL teams, and I don't know where this comes from. Comms was like a magical thing that a lot of times didn't work. So if you missed a couple comms windows and you were fine, like no one was fucking losing their mind.
Huh.
It's
right?
that culture of trying to rely on the toughness of the individual. Like the same thing, Force Recon, MARSOC, like it is pounded into you. Never fight fair, communication advantage, technological advantage, everything you can. Because guess what? When all things go bad, you're going to wish you had every advantage you could when it goes bad. When your buddies are getting dragged through the street, not to get all crazy here now, but it's like, you can't miss windows. Pro birds have to be perfect. If you're a commander, you're any type of team chief, team leader, commander, whatever, you better have a calm, cool attitude on that radio. They train it, no matter what's going on.
Even in the craziest shit of your life.
Out.
Yeah.
Here's the other big thing, Ben, about all of this. They were told, do not go into that area with less than 30 people.
They were told that by a team of Green Berets, by the way.
Do not go over there.
That's who you want to listen to.
And I know one of the guys that was there.
And another one of our fun.
And do you know, real quick, Jake? Do you know what they told the Green Berets, who had been there for like 4 months operating in the area? And we know everything about the area. Like that's our thing, right? Because we're working with the Indig.
Yeah.
They told the Green Berets they're working there, and I quote, "We're Navy SEALs. We don't need your fucking help." So there.
I mean, listen, you can say that because they don't have a vote anymore. So So here
now, I'm not saying the 4 guys on the mission did that. I'm talking about the entire unit that came in.
So I guess it goes back to like too much. So we got to say too much can do, can kill, right?
Yeah.
Or too much can do will kill. And I saw it, man. I'll tell you, man. I tell them in my mission briefing to my new SEALs that are checking into a command, the first thing I say is they will let you kill yourself really quickly. If you were in over your head doing something you shouldn't be doing or you're not comfortable with, raise your fucking hand.
Yes.
It will let you kill yourself in the SEALs. I saw it.
Yeah,
Okay?
I believe you. I believe you.
100%.
It is a big balls organization. Yep.
I checked into my team in my whites, and they threw me out of a plane at 600 feet into the ocean with zero training 3 hours later.
On a static line jump?
Static line. and I asked, I said, I need some training. Tell me to fuck off. Direct quote from the warrant officer in training. fuck off. Are you a frogman? I said, yeah. Okay?
Well, there you have it. We've solved it all. Cultural. We've solved it.
Absolutely. But I was on the tarmac. I didn't know what to do. I grabbed a fucking dude. I said, hey, motherfucker, you got to tell him I have no idea what I'm doing. He's like, oh, it's easy, man. Just do your fins like this.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, jump out the plane. The chute's going to open. You're landing in the water. It won't be a problem. Yeah, I got a video of it. I'm getting drugged for 8 seconds under the water, and I'm looking at the surface trying to figure out how to get there with no fucking training. Just came out of jump school on Friday, man.
I mean,
And
yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to drown on my first fucking day.
As a SEAL.
And then I'm like, oh shit, pop a cape whale. I popped the cape whale, the parachute deflated. It was high winds, like 20-mile-an-hour winds, right? Like I was skiing behind the fucking parachute underwater. And I was just like, oh no. And then 3 times after that, I was in a situation. I was like, oh no, I'm good. I'm fucking oxygen stay left. And I know a buddy that died.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, stuff like that happens though too. I think it's like, when procedures aren't followed, you don't take high risk training seriously. We had an incident before I was at Force Recon, a while before. This is like at the start of the war, the start of Afghanistan, before going in there in the early days in Afghanistan for Force Recon. But the story goes this way. I know the person who's on this jump personally, but he and his buddy went. They're going to do a free fall. They needed like a refresher on the new chute, and I guess they had a new.
This is. Have you
heard this one before? Maybe you've heard it.
Well,
Yeah.
we had a guy killed the exact way
Yeah.
you're going to tell the story.
And the guy was like, "You're fucking good, dude. Same type of attitude you had, Jake. You're fucking good. Get up there. The same thing. Are you were you one of us or what? You're good." Went up there. He wasn't good. Didn't know how to properly use his new the altimeter triggered reserve either. So that didn't save him. Burned in. Very good friend of mine was with him on the jump and, messed him up too. I mean, he's a consummate professional, badass war hero type dude, but burned in. That was it. I'll tell you one more jump story. We were down in DZ Trident. Jake, you're going to know this is on the border in Tijuana down there, Nate. And the SEALs had a new jump school, right? Where they're only like a 2-day jump school. They just went through static line. You know what I'm talking about?
What?
I'm getting ready to go. I'm getting ready to do
Ours is 3
multiple.
weeks.
We're doing elevator ops. We're doing elevator ops. I'm sitting there, and Gunny and I are like putting on our stuff, and all of a sudden the bullhorn, deploy your reserve. Like I'm like, holy shit! He's cigaretting, rolling, coming in, boom, and he broke his femur. Thank God he didn't die. But this is just about we're about getting ready to jump. Talk about feeling spooked. You're like, oh god.
Wait.
So
8, 10. So Nate, static line Army 3 weeks.
Yep.
They cut it down to 4 fucking days.
Right, something like that.
Oh, no, thank you.
4 days.
This is what I saw. Reserve, pull your reserve, feet together. Like he's like cigarette roll. He's coming down. There's nothing slowing down.
My dad, another jump school story. I didn't have any crazy ones like that. My dad, his very first jump in jump school, he jumps out, parachute opens, and the person who comes out right next to him's cigarette rolls, falls straight past him, and then goes through the top of the chute of the jumper below him. They entangle in both chutes. Both of them spiral to the ground, hit the ground. One dude died, and one dude broke like every bone in his body.
Oh my
dad's
God.
very first jump. Watched it
Holy
right below
crap.
him. And then he had to, you know what you have to do, right? They're like, yep, it happens.
Get
Suit
up again. Get your next
Yeah, I
thing
mean,
on and
there's,
go.
like,
What do you think happened in Normandy? What do you think happened?
Yeah.
Hey, let me
Training
tell
don't
you my
stop.
first jump. Okay. So
In the
my
water.
first jump at Benning. Okay. I get out the plane. All I hear is somebody screaming at the top of their fucking lungs. I'm talking about like death screams, right? I'm like, fuck, I can't worry about this motherfucker. I got to figure out which way this T is pointing. This shit don't make no sense to me. I can't worry about that shit. The whole way down, I just hear death screaming, right? I land with the wind. So you know how hard it is to the ground.
I've got 2 fully reconstructed surgeries from that. So I'm aware.
Wow.
My boots are above the dirt. You know, they plow the field down in Benning. The dirt is above my boots. That's how hard I hit the ground. I literally was gonna quit. I was like, if I land like this again, I'm
Were
quitting.
you in a T10?
Yeah,
T10 Charlie, baby.
Oh, dude.
And
Pulling
I didn't know-
risers.
I didn't know the trick to
Oh.
turn until the front left. I didn't know any of this. So
Jake, I got crushed too. I got crushed.
I did too,
I'm
dude. My first
on
jump
my
on the
back.
T10, I thought I broke my back.
listen. I'm on my back like this in the middle of the field, contemplating how bad my legs hurt, right? And I'm watching this jumper screaming as he's coming down. And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh shit. He had ripped his leg off and his boot was above his head in the right.
Static line. Some type of static
What?
line entanglement, I'm sure.
So
Yeah.
this is what happened.
Holy.
So you know at Benning, they show you the videos.
Yeah.
Like
We had
he
a
was-
girl get her arm ripped off.
Holy
so we had a girl
shit.
with the static line around her neck, and it
Oh.
like her whole neck was fucking bright purple. They were like she luckily did not lose her head,
Right.
but
yeah.
he did a super weak exit, and you see his foot get caught in the riser,
Mhm.
and it ripped his fucking leg off. Like I'm telling you, his boot was 3 feet above his head, and the other thing I saw when I was like, oh, he's fucked up. I got up. And the fucking turbo ambulance was flying across the field because they knew what had happened to him.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to ask Bobby about some of the mass attacks in the 82nd Airborne. He told me some
No
stuff
thanks,
like
dude.
sky sharking on top of each other and like
Mhm.
fighting on the way down, crazy shit. And you know, we were on a couple weeks ago together. And he was telling us stories. I was like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah, I got onto a military free fall team in the back half of my career. Thank God I never jumped. I never jumped static line again after that, not once. It's like,
Nice.
and then I ended up ending my career by a down
Yeah.
a nighttime downwind landing that ripped both my shoulders almost off
Oh
my
my
body.
God.
So
Jake's still a jumping
dan-
fool today. Jake's a he jumped today.
Dan-
Jake's a
did
jumping
you?
fool. Dude, I don't know what's going on with you.
Listen,
dangerous game, boys.
Yep.
listen, I am the safest motherfucker in the world. I jump by myself or with a couple people that I know. I pull it 5,000 feet. Everybody makes
okay.
fun of me.
You're old man
That's-
in it. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's not what happened last week. That's
am
not what you told me 2 weeks ago.
Dude, what do you
He was
mean?
flying like Superman. Flying down there.
Oh no, you fuck out your mind. Like I'm fucking landing. I'm landing safe. Like I got
Yeah.
a 230. I weigh 218 now. Like
Oh,
Nice.
you use a 230. Oh yeah, you're playing it safe.
bro,
man.
I'm not fucking playing around. Like
Yeah,
there's
we're
a
old,
dude-
man.
like,
You
there's a
can't be doing that
kid-
shit.
There's a kid with 300 jumps. He's jumping a fucking 94 right now.
No thanks,
And they're
dude.
all trying to get him off this 94. He's had to pull his reserve 5 fucking times.
So, guys, for what we're talking about, the different type of parachutes, right? 240 is a really big parachute that's gonna, you're gonna be able to control pretty easily. A 94, you guys ever watch the crazy, like when they're just swooping back and forth and almost turning upside down? That's what a 94 is.
That's
And
cuckoo.
it's
Yeah, like a normal size for people to put this in perspective. A normal size parachute is the size of your living room or your living room or like your kitchen.
Yeah.
They're jumping the tablecloth.
yeah, pretty much.
That's
Yeah.
nuts, man. It's all nuts.
All right.
Where
Story
we,
time.
Where we at?
See,
story
my
time is
chat,
fun.
my chat probably loves this, guys, because I never tell my stories. So when I sit down with you guys, we start to actually tell a little bit of stories here and there. So
Well,
it's fun.
telling some of those stories are fun.
Yeah. Are doing 20 reps, 4-count flutter kicks for 20 sets good for building hip flexor and psoas strength? Look, I don't know, man. Yes, for sure. Flutter kicks are good if you're going to be finning, right? But honestly, I just swam, to be honest. I hated flutter kicks. I would do them here and there. You do them in training, right? But I would just swim. I don't know about you guys.
Thousands.
It's good for Muay Thai. Good for leg kicks.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's what I do it now for, is because I do Muay Thai
Right.
4 times a week. So
Right.
now I do a lot more.
There
of
you
it,
go.
But, yes, it's for swimming though, right? So at least in the military. Six's mom says, "Thank you, Jake. I've seen Eric Deming interviews and always thought he was honest. I've had him on my show a couple times, even though people try to talk down on him. Aloha, Friday, Kauai, Nate, Ben, and Aaron. Thank you. Yeah, I've had Eric on my show twice. I really like Eric. I think he's a good dude. And I criticized him pretty heavily the first time I heard his stuff. And then I sat down and talked to him for a long time and felt like, oh shit, I think this guy is a lot more honest than, and he's ended up being right. He was like, he was exposing all this stuff about the things we talked about, 2 years ago. And
he was right.
He's basically been right about all of it. So
Right about
That's-
all
well,
of it.
Thanks,
that's a
Six's
big
mom.
one, too. Thank you all. Well, thank you, Shauna. Appreciate you. Flock cameras are the next step of the panopticon that the deep state are using to control the population. Fourth Amendment. What is that? What's a panopticon? That's a big word for me. We know.
Second grade reading level. If you guys are gonna give us super chats, we need second grade reading level.
Chat. What's a panopticon? Let us know, and then we'll come back to that one. Thank you. Bobby says I'm big Navy, and Latrell Kyle stories killed me. I was a kid, tried out for class 142 in 1985. I could not agree to the lies, and again, I never. Tool Marcus is still a hero to me. Yeah, I think a lot of people think, like we talked about it earlier. That's why I've never gone after Marcus. I've talked about, like I said, the lone survivor story from the realms of like communication failures, but I don't think I ever even said his name when I covered it, because it's just a different. Stolen valor to me is like you're purposefully intentionally lying about things for personal gain, and like you set out nefariously and maliciously to do it. Not to say that lying isn't stolen valor, what he did. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with what you're saying. Yeah.
The Spain ordeal has made me appreciate BORTAC that much more. My question: shouldn't DHS have their own tier 1 unit paramilitary tag package given the cartel infringement? Okay, we had this one earlier.
That one.
Hey, I got Nick. Nick is saying, Helter Zeltzer saying more or less. He's saying that it's prison where the guards can always see the prisoners. That's the panopticon.
Oh,
yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's
scary.
Yeah, I don't like that in my regular life.
Right.
Just someone always watching you at all times.
Thanks, Nick.
There was one, dude, guys. I saw.
I'll be on OF if they watch me all the time.
There was one I just saw in China that was insane, guys. They had it was a beach at nighttime, and you're not allowed to swim in the water at nighttime. This Chinese dude is out there and goes out to swim, and immediately a fucking drone is over the top of him with a flashlight, and it's telling him to get out of the water immediately. Like, wow, boom, like alien flashlight on top of him in the water.
That's crazy.
Telling him to get out of the water. Like that's
where it's going.
That's how closely they watch them. They're watching people there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we could get to that, right? That's
no TikTok takeovers there.
No. They figured that out though, right? There ain't no R words going on there. That's
no, for sure.
Europe's population is 750 million. Non-Euro immigrants are 5%, and non-Euro illegal immigrants are less than 1%. They're trying to scare people with the EU is overrun. I agree with that. I don't agree with the EU is overrun. I do think some countries, particularly France, are getting close. But
I mean, I'll say I've been in France quite a bit, and recently, I'm still got a lot of connections there, and I will tell you that it is exactly as we're saying it is, especially in the urban areas. So, for what that's worth.
But again, I do agree with the idea that like Europe's been overrun. The statistics don't suggest that, but
that's refreshing to hear. That's good to hear. I'm glad that's
where's
said.
the statistics going to be in 100 years? Who
yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's specific spots that you go to that are a lot worse than the rest of Europe. Nate, tell your mods to chill. I got put in timeout for saying gay. Well, they're trying to keep my channel safe because if you say things like that, I can get in trouble for it. So they're not doing it nefariously, brother.
You know what that reminds me of? Coach won't play me. Coach plays his favorites. Well, time to become one of Coach's favorites then.
Thank you. Rick says, great show, guys. And shouts to Big Bruh Jake. I don't know what this is. Fietz, RQQ.
He's a bruh. Omega. He's an Omega.
Got it.
Shout out to the bros. You're at the Clave. Everybody's at the 2-year conference in Cincinnati right now. Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right. This is for one of you guys. Six's mom says everyone was
Six's
sending.
Mom.
She lives in Hawaii. Everyone was saying homeless to Hawaii one way. It took them a while to realize that it's a big problem. They tried to build facilities for them, but we all know they won't live their rules. And again, this is why I like listening to people that actually live in the areas that when we were talking about things.
That's right. And that's what I was talking about before, Six's mom. Yeah, I saw the same thing firsthand. I've spent quite a bit of time in Hawaii. Obviously, I don't live there like you do now. But yeah, thanks for following that up.
All right, Justin, that is a big super sticker, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate the generosity on that. Elf, thank you as well. Road War, we're getting close to the end here. Road Warrior says before there were Hispanic, Latino, or Arab, Middle Eastern, Africa were labeled white until they got their own categories. White people numbers were inflated. Interesting. Did this? I don't know. I mean, again, how is it like? I know how it works in America, but.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like the statistics, I mean, again, like Caucasian encompasses a lot of different sub-ethnic groups for sure.
Yeah, I didn't know that until you said that. I'll
Like
admit my
Persians, right?
ignorance.
Persians are Caucasian. Like a lot of people don't know that. People don't know the majority of Iran is Caucasian. Right?
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yep.
There you have it. See, we learned together.
Can you please ask Andrew Wilson where this 300K will be coming from? 300,000? I'm not sure what you mean by this one. Thank you. I just had a conversation with my daughter why she wouldn't join the military. I served 5 tours in Iraq, and I felt it was justified under the WMD lies. Now, what's the justification? I can't find one. Brother, I think a lot of us feel this way that fought the global war on terror, that I, at the time, thought I was doing it. Everything was just. The mission was just post 9/11, you know, and it's unfortunately we have to look back on it and think, you know, maybe this wasn't for the reasons we thought it was. You know what I mean? So I get it. It's I still encourage people to join the military anyway for young men. I again, a lot of people are like, "How could you think that?" And I'm like, "It's just it saved my life. It completely."
You know, it's something I saw, Nate, was so cool. And this is like not to, well, yeah, to glamorize the military a little bit, but I saw this, you know, that song, You Step Into the World of Pure Imagination. They're like, come with me. It shows like, I mean, for a young man, you do a lot of cool stuff. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of tough stuff, a lot of boring stuff, a lot of other BS too, but you do a lot of cool stuff.
Even if you never see combat, you could do so much cool stuff.
Yeah.
As a young man.
Leadership, teamwork, all this stuff.
All of it, yeah.
I'm gonna say this: you don't get to shoot M60s in any civilian fucking.
And you don't get thrown out of an airplane your first day on the job like Jake in the water.
You don't get to fucking do cool shit. Some of the shit is cool.
A lot of
you got to shoot the 50 cal, bro. Like
yeah.
Another one. I had one the other day that was like, as a Green Beret, how dare you? You're just a murderer. And I'm like, did you know that one of the core mission sets of Green Berets is humanitarian work?
Yeah,
we do because we're embedded in 93 different countries. So when a place like Haiti has an earthquake, you know who some of the first medics are onto the scene to help people? Or oftentimes American Green Berets. So we do a ton, and not just Green Berets, but the American military does a ton of humanitarian work around the world that they also don't get credit for. So
the next time you're going to bring those comments, you bring them right over here to me and to Jake. Okay. So,
but I just mean like people think the idea of like all the military does is conduct war and kill people. And that's not true. And also that blame goes to the politicians who decide to start those wars, you know?
Right.
And only 10% of the U.S. military are war fighters.
100%.
Or if that, I think it's less than that.
Roughly 10%.
10%.
Yeah, like 90% of the military is supporting 10% of the war fighters.
Yep.
And you want to talk about the people who are least apt to use military force are people that are veterans, you know, usually. So they know the proper use of force, justification for force application, the, you know, escalation. And so, and how much, you know, reciprocity, how much reciprocal force, making sure it's measured in response. So.
And I think you see now too why so many veterans have, you know, such a strong stance on the war in Iran, and maybe either are completely against it or are under the lines of like, hey, you better give us some good fucking reasons for what you're doing, and if you can't do that, we shouldn't be doing it. Where a lot of times civilians kind of just eat that stuff up, right? Because they don't understand the cost of it. The cost.
Very true. Very true.
Thank you. Another super sticker from Justin. Thank you, very generous brother. Another one here. Geez, Justin with another $100 super.
Boom.
Brother, thank you. Leave a comment, man. It's crazy generous.
Yeah, send him a beer.
Appreciate it, brother. It's super generous. You've left me like 3 or 4 of these, so thank you so much. Leave a comment though, so we can at least respond. Ben, I just got orders to OCC 253. I don't know what this is.
Awesome. Congratulations. Fantastic.
Alaska Native servicemen were highly effective during the Aleutian Islands campaign, the only ground combat on U.S. soil during the 2 world wars. I did not know this. It's something I learned today. I didn't know anything about that there had ever been. Well, ever, but I didn't know there was any fighting in domestic soil in World War II.
Trying to get some islands up there to like get a foothold.
That would make sense.
In the winter, and we send in all the fucking Inuit Indians, and they fucking
really. I gotta look that story up. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Having a hard time convincing myself becoming a Green Beret is still worth it, but there's nothing I'd rather do. God bless y'all. Awesome stream. Christ is King.
I think Don't do it.
Nah, it'll be super worth it. Green Berets are awesome. I've worked quite a bit.
Listen. If that dude's worried about what the fuck they're doing in the climate, he ain't made to be the.
That's actually true. Jake's got a good point. That actually is true. I would agree with that. If I tell people and you guys, I don't know if you might disagree. Maybe this is my take. I don't even suggest you have a second option. If you want to become a Green Beret, Navy SEAL, MARSOC operator, if you're like, I got a plan B and a plan C, I don't suggest you even go for plan A. I didn't have no plan. I dropped out of college and was fucked. Like my plan A, Green Beret, no other plan. So, Jake is a good person for this because both you guys do a lot of mentorship. Not to say this is a good idea that you got to be in a terrible place in your life, but I'm just saying for me, going through the hardest parts of training, if I would have had like an easy plan B that would have been comfortable and felt good, quitting would have felt a lot easier than when you're like, can't leave. Sorry, you got to kill me because I got nothing left to go back to.
I think the one redeeming thing he said there was that there's nothing else I'd rather do in life. He said, I think, I hear this from a lot of young people too. And I know, Jake, you hear it too. It's like, they'll wonder like, you think I should do it? I'm like, well, what do you think? Is you got a burning desire for it? Is all you think about? Like you can't live without. That's like people who say, should I play college football? I'm like, first of all, can you? Second of all, can you live without it? If you can't live without it, then you got to do it. You know what I mean? So I think that's where I would go as exactly what Nate's saying too. But yeah, man. I mean, it's like one of those things. Like I couldn't have imagined my life if I hadn't done the things I've done. I had such a need to kind of do this for whatever reason and do all the things I'd done and to lead at a level that would push my limits of leadership and keep trying to try out for things, keep trying to make the cut, and so I was obsessed about it.
Ben's point, and this is my thing for young men, is it doesn't really matter what you do, it's having a strong purpose. And what Ben just mentioned there is in the military, especially in special operations, there's always a purpose. Always. The military hands it to you and says, here's your purpose, right? You never have to worry about what do I do next? What am I supposed to do here? It's like, no, you always have a higher level. You're with a team, right? So you're always on a team, which now the team is the purpose, right? It's so much beyond you, right? And so these are just things people don't understand about like the military for young men, of why it is so good for young men. Even outside of the war, I'm not talking about stuff like that.
And I'll say, as far as like an outfit, if you're like looking at, which one to do, I think Green Berets are fantastic. I've been to combat with them, been to war with them, and they are professionals. They're badass and they're cool. They're super cool and easy to get along with. I don't know, from what I saw. So
if you want an extremely broad skill set as well, like the Green Beret is kind of the jack of all trade, master of none when it comes to a lot of things, right? We're not the best at diving or halo or shooting or explosives or ambush lines, but we're pretty good at everything, which is
no doubt about it.
You learn everything, which is cool. All right, cool. Jasmine, love you guys. Great live as always. Thank you, Jasmine.
Thanks, Jasmine.
My head moderator. Jasmine's been with us forever.
Ever.
From the original War Room days. Jasmine,
she was a special guest.
That's what I was going to say. We should get Jasmine back on the show now.
Yeah.
Jasmine did a show with us before.
Yeah,
guys.
She's a special guest.
We'll see if Jazz wants to do that. We could do that. Are we close to the U.S. versus Europe scenario? Oh, like us going to war with each other? I think we're a long ways away from that.
Yeah.
Also, I don't want to do that. I don't want. No. I think people are like, yeah, fuck Europe. I'm like, no, I kind of want. I kind of like, this is where we come from. This is where our heritage comes from as America. I don't really want to be in.
I'm from Africa, Nate.
Well, I'm saying Poland, America.
And Poland. All right. And Finland. Okay. Fuck. All right.
All right. There we go. But you know what I mean? Like, why do we want to be enemies with Europe? That one I don't understand.
Bad.
I am Dutch. KCT. I can't say that. Godspeed. Well, thank you.
Nunkum. Thank you.
The tiny hats, Jake's not going to like that. People using USA for their dirty work resembles when the religious leaders influenced the elite back then, the Romans, to crucify him. That one's deep. That one goes way back.
I want to live a good life. I want to live a good life.
You can't be saying anything like that with Jake on the panel. Michael Aquino, the book was Mind War. That's right. This is Satanist Michael Aquino, Green Beret. The Presidio PDF allegations are damning, and he founded the Temple of Set because Levi Satanism wasn't enough for him for the public record. yeah, so that's one of the guys they were talking about in the list of conspiracies. But yeah, he was a Green Beret lieutenant colonel, I believe. Pretty creepy. Like the founder of Satanism was
Right.
a Green
No, he
Beret, of
wasn't.
course.
Don't say that.
You know, but it is what it is. He's written books on it. So, do people realize the U.S. can't arrest Uncle BB because we aren't party to the Rome Statute or recognize the ICC? Talking to you, Mom Donnie. Yeah, I mean, we're one of 2 countries that's not willing to recognize it. So there's that. Oh, well. Elite class inherit their power and thinks in years, decades, and centuries. Cattle think in hours, days, and week. We are effed. That's kind of a good China-America comparison with politics, though, right? China has the 100-year plan. America has the 2-hour plan. Right?
Yeah. No doubt.
August 3 at midnight. Then McConnell will be dead at 12:01 August 4th. So it sounds like August 3rd's the break point to get past where they won't have to have a special election. Okay, not great. It's all an international poker game where everyone's cheating.
You're not wrong.
This one's for one of you guys. Oh, for Jake and the whole panel. If you were 30 years old right now, would you do an obligatory of 3 years, then release and open a business, or do 25 years and guarantee a full pension at retirement? Ooh, I got my opinions on this, but let Jake go first.
Is that military? Would I stay in the military if I was 30 right now? Is that what they're
No,
asking?
Yeah. If you were 30 years old, would you, he's saying, if you were 30, would you sign up, do 3 years, get out, start a business, or would you try to do 25 years at 30 years old?
So I will tell you 2 things. I have 3 kids and a wife. I would not change that. I would not go back in time and change anything that's happened. Okay. Now, understanding where the money comes from, I probably would have stayed in and did my 20. However, Ben has told me multiple times I'd probably be dead because I would have went to war a whole bunch, and I do like shooting shit. Okay.
Yep. And you would have been in the earliest part of the war.
My platoon was the first platoon in Afghanistan in September 28th. So, but I just know, I tell my young guys, there's just as much money to be made as doing a 30-year career, a 20-year career in the military. Because when you get out, you're going to get a better job.
So true. That's what I was just going to say.
People are going to give you real jobs. I got a couple dudes that got out the military. Dude did 30 years, walked out of the military today and walked into his same job tomorrow as a GS-15, making $180,000. And he got 100% VA. And he got his retirement from 30 years as an 06. He's making like $30,000 by himself. Oh, and his wife did the same thing because she was military. So, I tell everybody, man, you can make a great career in the military, man. There's a lot of money to be had when you get out.
Here's my advice real quick before Ben gives his. Don't join the military with that type. First of all, I think it's the wrong way to look at it. Don't join thinking I'm planning on doing 3 or 25, right? And that's what I'm going to do. Trust me, you'll figure that out as you go. When you get to your reenlistment point, you're going to know, is it time for me to get out, or do I enjoy this and do I want to stay in? So also the retirement, it's nice. I have it. Ben, you have it, I would assume. But to Jake's point, you can get out and have a good skill set, a good resume, and make plenty of money as well, right? So that's one of the big things I see guys do is like, oh, I got to hang on just to be able to get that retirement. It's like, then you'll see a dude get out and take a job at, Lockheed Martin making $250,000 a year. Right. You're like, oh, well, had I done this 20 years prior, I would have made 10x what my military retirement ends up being. Right. So,
right. I think echo everything they're saying. I would just say this: if you decide to go in because you really want to, and you're really curious about it. Want to can also come down to, I want a secure income doing something cool that I like, that I think is good. I want to learn a trade. There are many ways, the many reasons to go in, but your purpose and your reason has to be yours, and you got to be fired up about it and get excited about it. And, one thing for me is, literally, it was the world that of pure imagination, like that video, like there was always something so cool around the corner I wanted to try out for, I wanted to do, I'd apply for, maybe I can get it, maybe I won't, I'll take a shot at it, and I'd get it. And I was like, damn, man, I can't believe I got this. And then the whole other doors open to me. Like I was in some programs that, I dreamt about being in. I got into them and I was like, wow, you learn so much. So if you stay curious, and I would say, don't just let them give you like, okay, you're getting orders here now. If you have a chance to try out for things, to, apply yourself for things, to go for things, stay curious, stay passionate, because you're going to owe it to yourself. You're going to owe it to the people you lead. And because it does turn into some hard knocks too. They say no crying in baseball. You're going to run into some leadership and your peers. There's some no nonsense. So as much as it seems like, oh, just go straight line from here to there, you're going to take flack the whole time. And like, there's some tough nosed people that like, they're not going to be like in the civilian world where they're like, unless you have a toxic boss. And I know that happens too in business, but where they're going to, maybe take you to HR, right? People are going to get in your face. They're going to give you a hard time. There's all these things, but that's also in business too. I know there's hard knocks in business too. So going because you want to, there are great benefits to it, great job stuff, all that, but stay curious, stay excited about it, and then when you feel it's time to get out, all the calculations Nate's making, either way, you will be better because you went in. That's what I believe. So for no matter how long you do it for.
And an absolute minimum, what you're going to have is the GI Bill. You're going to have access to VA home loan. You're going to have access to the VA healthcare system. Like, even if you do your 3 years, like it's just like for an 18-year-old dude, it is the most insane cheat code to life. A 3 years, and then did you take your GI Bill and go to school with a skill? Oh my God! Like the male cheat in this economy. I mean, I'm telling you guys, you are going to be very not that you have to do this, but you
cannot go wrong if you are 19 years old and you ain't doing shit, enlisting any of the militaries for 4 years.
That was me, Jake.
It's only going to make you better. It's going to give you resources, and you're going to have. It's going to change your life in 4 years. In 4 years, you're going to be able to come out and get a fucking job because
100%.
we got a whole group of young kids. They ain't got no motivation.
Yep. All right. Good one on that. Good evening from Silverton. Oh, Silverton, Oregon. That is very close to me, actually. Absolutely love your show. It's nice to know there are normal people still. We live in the clown world. Keep up the great work. Yeah, you're just north of me, man. Very cool. Thank you. Thank you. I think the word you're looking for, MAGA conservative, is cuxvatives. Okay.
I just kind of got that from the sound of it. It's pretty good.
I bought the WMD BS after 9/11, re-enlisted after 2 Iraq deployments. I was in the Normandy Honor Guard standing behind President Bush. I viewed politicians differently after that. Draft Baron. I'm a big proponent of, if you want to go to war and you politicians should have to vote on it. And if you vote on it, you got to send a direct family member.
Maybe Baron wants to join. Maybe he's like, I'm sick of all this crap. I want to go join.
He's not. He's already trying to use the excuse that he's too tall. That's why people are like, well, too bad David Robinson was 7 feet tall and was in the Navy.
Admiral on a submarine.
Yeah. So that throws that out there.
Yep.
Is Jake Mr. Mackey from South Park?
Mm-hmm.
Give him an K, Jake.
Yep.
Love it.
Oh, he's not going to do it now.
I said, okay. Yeah.
You must be new to Jake if you're just figuring out the MK. That's his trademark right there. Sounds like the jump master really effed up. Well, not necessarily, actually. The jumpers can very, very mess. Like the individual jumpers in static line can do this to themselves. You don't pass that static line off correctly to the jump blaster, it's going underneath your arm, and now you're going to get half your arm ripped off.
Getting vorpaled,
so
man.
Here's the other thing that I don't think people understand. It's just how many motherfuckers are leaving the plane. Like when you're doing army, like static
mass gas, dual door,
like motherfuckers is like right next.
Bro, you're hitting each other. You're coming out the door and smacking each other under the plane.
You said dual door. I was thinking dual point, dual hall boss, dual point, dual stack hall boss. Old school tactics, like SWAT tactics coming down the hall.
It's dude, static line is so dangerous. If you guys haven't figured out by the stories that it's like the dumbest, most dangerous thing in the military, right behind fast roping. Fast roping is officially the most dangerous thing in the military.
Yeah.
But static line's right there. No, bro, fast roping.
I'm just gonna say I fast rope a shit ton, and I will say this: I felt it was safer than static line. And
not at night from 60 feet when you're in full combat equipment, brother.
We're doing fucking ship takedowns on static line at 10 feet, right? Like yes, I will agree. 60, 80 feet static lines are bad. 10 foot, 15 foot static lines are
not too bad. No.
Yeah.
No, but when you got 3-4 dudes on the rope and something goes wrong, we were coming down on top of a building one time. I was actually Fry's master putting dudes out, and he got a huge gust of wind. And my buddy, my warrant officer Nate was the bottom man, and I just saw him get blown out from under me, and he got blown over the edge of the building. And we had to like have that, and he had to hold on. He had to do the J hook, and there was 2 other dudes on the rope. And if they're not paying attention, looking down, they'll slide right past you, knock you off the rope, and you'll fall, to your death. Yeah. So,
what's funny is like, I can remember there was the Good Idea Ferry came along. We were going to do a raid like in Ramadi, and first course of action, because we always come up with a couple koas, right? And first koa was like helo hard hit, 2 birds exterior, 1 main assault team's coming up on the roof, fast rope. I'm like, we're going to get fucking blown up. Don't even do this. And thank God I had an awesome commander who's just like, shut that shit right down. So anyway.
And in combat, it's even more dangerous because now you have a loitering aircraft at 70 feet off the ground, right? And that RPG is bad news for that.
And we ended up not doing that mission anyway. So just for any of the brothers out there that are watching this and know the truth.
Black Hawk down.
That's why you got to Black Hawk down.
Hey, Nate, do you know retired Green Beret Ryan Hendrickson lost his leg in Afghanistan, now runs Tip of the Spear landmine removal in Ukraine? Brave man. I do not know him, but it sounds like a good dude. Directed at Jake and the whole panel. If you were 30 years old right now, okay, you left this. Well, no, I think you left it twice, or maybe I just read it earlier. Thank you, brother. Bobby says, great cast tonight. Jake, can we see another You Are Squad show?
Oh,
you guys were epic.
Dude, you're screwed.
Yeah, Dude, You're Screwed. TV show on Discovery.
Oh, what? Okay, I haven't seen that.
They did some wild stuff, man. They kicked you out of helicopters in the snow and stuff, right? Like, isn't there crazy stuff?
Sketchy, bro. Sketchy.
Yeah, he's like has to survive in the snow.
Jake, you gotta send me that. I haven't seen that one.
I fired a helicopter pilot in Romania.
What?
Yeah. Motherfucker was doing like fucking around in the treetops. I landed and I fired his ass. I told my fucking
you got to send me that. I got to see that. That's crazy.
Yeah. I told my boss he's fired. He's not flying no more. He's like, what? I'm like, he's fired.
Sir Nate, did you? You're good. Sir Nate, did you ever help deliver a baby in group in Afghanistan? I did not, but my team sergeant Heath, that I did a story or I did a show with together, and this was a while back. If you go and watch it, he, I believe, has delivered babies as an 18 Delta. For those of you who don't know, Special Forces medics are also trained in delivering babies, as well as veterinary care, trauma medicine. Green Beret medics are some of the most diverse doctors on the planet, by the way. But yeah, this is something that we do. Yeah, he did actually, because they came and got him because the baby was coming out and like just the leg had come out. And so they ran to him and were like, what do we do? And he had to figure out how to deliver the baby. So yeah, I didn't. That was on a deployment before I got to the team. But I do know guys that, have delivered babies in Afghanistan as Green Berets. Pretty wild. I enlisted. My goal was MARSOC. I stuck with Recon because the adrenaline rush was more available in Recon. The MARSOC I've spoken to convinced me there was less fun and more administrative work. Well, that's Ben's alley right there. You did both. So
yeah, man. I mean, Recon's amazing. Definitely the Marine Corps' boys right there, right? Force Recon, Recon Battalion, Force Recon Company. If you decide to go to MARSOC, I think you're going to have the availability to open up to all kinds of other things in SOCOM too. So don't look past it, because once you're in Recon, you're going to be a highly valuable person to MARSOC. And as far as the administrative work, I mean, I just think there's a lot of professionalism in the Raider Regiment. And, but I don't know, the guys are going to crazy schools, crazy training. I mean,
there's a lot of administrative in Green Berets too.
Yeah,
because we're doing diplomatic work. We're doing all of our scheduling, all of our, whereas I don't know if Force Recon, is it a younger demographic, do you think, in Force Recon than in MARSOC?
When I was there, it wasn't, because MARSOC wasn't fully stood up yet, so it was older guys. And there was Det 1 that was around at the same time when I was there. But it's now, I think it depends, because some guys don't want to go over to MARSOC. They're already in Recon. And you get some really badass dudes in Force Recon come out of the Recon battalions, and They just want to keep shooting, moving, communicating, doing direct action, sniper work, deep reconnaissance, and they love what they do. They're all fully qualified for every insertion means, and then for them to have to leave to go over tryout again, to go to assessment and selection, go through ITC, and some of them just don't see the value. They're already leaders. They're already leading teams. They're guys who are doing some real big boy work out in the the theaters of combat and conflict. So it's just up to you. I think if you want to look to do more of the special forces mission, because that'll be the difference, is like what Nate was saying, the doing the irregular warfare partnered operations.
You guys do a lot of that too.
Yeah. In Force Recon's unilateral. Everything we do is unilateral. You're going off on your own. So if you want to keep doing that, do that. But if you want to do more of the partnered operations, have opportunity for advanced special operations as well too, for you can look into that more, then those will be out there for you in the Raider Regiment. But it's a long haul, as you're saying.
I know the best soldier, overall soldier, just when we're talking about soldiering, you guys know what that means, that I ever worked with on my team was a former Force Recon Marine who came over and became a Green Beret. Nick, unfortunately lost him, but best soldier I ever worked with by far, just from pure soldiering standpoint. There was nobody ever come close to this dude. So
it's awesome to hear, man.
All the Force Recon guys I've met have just been absolute studs for sure.
That's awesome.
All right, last one. We made it.
Nice.
PS Vet Gaming. Hey, Nate, thanks for always speaking up for veterans. I served as a HIMARS operator at JBLM 2022 and appreciate your honesty. Keep up the Lord's work in calling it like you see it. I've done actually pretty decent amount of work with HIMARS units and the Marines out in Okinawa. We did a ton of stuff with the Marine MEU units, actually.
Cool.
I've talked about it before. I've got a video on my Instagram. My ODA was the first ODA to proof of concept a military freefall operation into the South China Sea to take down an island to facilitate Marine MEUs to come in and then backfill HIMARS units to basically island hop through the South China Sea. Man. So very cool. Some of the coolest stuff I've done was working with the Marines and
super cool
and the HIMARS units. So.
HIMARS is bad. That's some badass
stuff. Dude. And that's the whole point was to get those facilitated into the theater to be able to take down ships and all sorts of crazy stuff. So
that's wild.
All right, we did it, boys. We made it to the end. 3.5 hours, a little bit of a long one. We might have to figure out. Maybe shorten the show a little bit. I don't know, because the super chats take a long time. But thank you guys so much. Also, make sure, guys, you go subscribe to Jake and Ben and Aaron. Show them support.
Help out the underdog. Help out the underdog.
Rising tide, bring them all up.
That's right.
The dudes are great. We're planning on doing this regularly. All right. So we appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for all the viewers. Any last words? Any shout outs to, for me, go follow my Clips channel. Valhalla VFT Clips. That's the only one. Any shout outs for you guys? Final shout outs where they can find you and what you're pushing for what you guys are doing.
Hey, please come on over and subscribe to my channel, Ben Pappas. It's there on the lower thirds tape there that Nate's got going. That's beautiful, by the way, Nate. Great job at Ben Pappas.
I just figured out how to do that today.
That looks great. Come on over and subscribe there. I'd love to see you in the channel. I'm live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Those are my main things. I'm running 5 p.m. Pacific each one of those days.
I got 2 apps. I got one for Special Forces and the Army and regular Army. And I've got the Navy SEAL app, which we use for a whole bunch of shit. Police force, fire department, dive school, and then Navy SEAL training. Come over. I'm easy to find. Just Google me, send me an email. We're live on Wednesday on our Discord channel, and we're live on YouTube with Massive Mentoring. And I would like to tell everybody, of my 4 freshmen that I have at West Point, 3 of them are in the same platoon, which is absolutely unheard of. So, and
I mean, Jake, both of you guys do a lot of mentorship and get a lot of guys across the finish line, which is awesome. So, all right, guys, we will be back. I'm assuming next week.
Oh yeah.
So this will be our regular plan Friday at 5, and we'll see what crazy shit the world brings us to talk about by then. All right. So thank you guys so much. We'll catch y'all next week. All right.
See you, everybody. Thank you,
everybody.